42 motors have fired on pit road. Welcome to TBS Sports live coverage of the Mello Yello 500 from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. More than 100,000 fans have packed their way in here today. The 28th of 31 Winston Cup races in the 1994 season. I'm Rick Benjamin in the SDP Pit Communication Center. Great to have you with us today. Let's take a look at the battle for the big prize, the Winston Cup Championship. Dale Earnhardt with a more than 200-point advantage over Rusty Wallace. As we've told you today, Earnhardt starts at the back of the field, 23 spots behind Rusty Wallace. The big question is, can he get through the pack safely and run with Rusty and finish well today? Perhaps cement the driving title. It would be his 7th. He would tie the king, Richard Petty, with 7 Winston Cup championships in his illustrious career. Joining us today for the first time, we welcome Busch Series regular and front runner. He'll be handling the garage area coverage for us today, Ricky Craven.
Different view for me today, but not a lot has changed. You know, I wandered around the garage area this morning. Same old talk, tires, speed, and the weather. Like yesterday, could affect a race.
Well, we're just about set to set this field in motion. And we'll take a look right now at the Texaco Haviland starting grid. On the pole, the freshman who shattered the mark by 4 miles an hour. That's Ward Burton. Alongside is Michael Waltrip. His first front row start since '91. In row 2, the STP colors, John Andretti is there for Richard Petty. And alongside, Joe Nemechek, who formerly held the record. In row 3, it's the young sensation, 23-year-old Jeff Gordon. And there is Jeff Bodine looking for still another win, a favorite today. Derek Cope is on the inside of row 4 for Bobby Allison. And there's Brett Bodine completing row 4. In row 5, Texas Terry Labonte, fresh from victory yesterday in the 300-mile Grand National Race. And Wisconsin Rapid, Wisconsin's Dick Trickle. In row 6, Ken Schrader's there, eager for a win, as is Mark Martin. In row 7 today, Mike Wallace. Great qualifying effort for the Junie Donlevy team. And Greg Sachs of New York way. In row 8, it's Rusty Wallace, number 2 in the Winston Cup points. And Ricky Rudd. For row 9, Todd Bodine with the car number 75, Butch Mock's car. And Harry Gant makes his final performance on the track in which he won his first super speedway race. There's Rick Mast inside of row 10. And Bobby Labonte, boy, is he coming on. And taking a look at the rest of the field as they are rolling. It's Kenny Wallace and Dale Jarrett, row 12, Sterling Marlin and Lake Speed. Further back in the field, Jimmy Spencer, Bobby Hamilton, row 14, Morgan Shepherd, Bill Elliott there. And as we look back through the field, Cale, a thought from you about this racetrack and this new paving.
Well, it's no doubt about it. It's a great paving job, Ken. It's smooth. I don't think I've seen any. I talked to anybody that's run on any racetrack that's been repaved lately that's as smooth as this is. So I just think it's going to be a great race. Still a dip in turn 3, still the ripples in turn 4, Chuck, and they had a lot of trouble there yesterday.
Yeah, Ken, I think one of the big things to look for today is when somebody gets right up on your rear deck or to the right side of you is pulling air off that rear spoiler. It can make your car loose in a hurry.
1.5 mile track. Take a look at it here with our Chevrolet course description. This is the Charlotte Motor Speedway over which they'll battle for 500 miles this afternoon. At Dogleg, kind of easy in there, 5 degrees. Then you get in those corners, you're up 24 degrees, and it sure comes around in a hurry, Cale.
Well, it sure does, Ken, especially the speeds they're running now. You know, like you said before, it's almost Daytona speeds, and with the racetrack being resurfaced and getting around so quick, you'll think you're on a half-mile racetrack here today.
MasterCard race analysis. There you see it. 1,000,001, approximately 42 cars. Provisional starters out back. Bit of a surprise. Kyle Petty back there again, and Steve Grissom. He came from out back yesterday, made a great run, then lost an engine. 154 mile an hour average is the mark for this race as we settle down for a start. 334 laps, 500 miles the distance. Welcome aboard and hope you enjoy the coverage. Pace car ready to drop off. Elmo Langley ready to bring it in. Jeff Bodine with the Excite car giving you that shot. Here's Terry Labonte. The field comes down for green. And 33-year-old Ward Burton with the first pole of his career, a rookie, takes the field into turn 1.
Looks like Ward's going to get the jump off the second turn. He's got a good opportunity to lead this first lap.
coming to speed for the first time. John Andretti digs on the inside, grabs second place. Nemechek trying the bottom two on Michael Waltrip. He's there for third. One lap down, and also on the move, it's Jeff Bodine, number 7. Remember, Jeff's on those Hoosier tires. And a week ago at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, first man in years to win by over a lap. Here's Jeff Bodine giving you these shots from the X-Side car. Further back on board with Terry Labonte. Going up the outside on that 24-degree banking, coming out of 4, squeezed right up against the wall. Mark Martin right next to him, dropping back a bit. There you see Jarrett Coven, the Allison, number 12. Good start. And let's take a look further back in this pack. A lot of young guys looking really good out here today, Chuck, particularly in qualifying. And here comes Earnhardt fighting his way up through in the number 3. Remember, he started 38th today. That's Jeff Burton just in front of him, and Jeremy Mayfield in Cale's car in the number 98. He's up to 32nd. How's it feel to sit up here and watch that old 98?
Well, it feels good. You know, Jeremy's doing us a fine job. He's just young and needs more experience, but he's got a bright future.
Jeremy Mayfield, another freshman driver out of Owensboro, Kentucky. Ward Burton stays first. Andretti is in second. Let's watch as once again Earnhardt, gets pushed right down to the bottom. Spencer there. Mayfield on the outside making a move as well. Jeremy picking up a spot, and Jimmy Spencer. Musgrave just in back of them. And up to 30th moves number 3.
He doesn't want to waste much time back there in the pack. He knows the safest place to be is at the front.
Got one car in the wall, in trouble. Earnhardt gets through, maybe. Somebody may have touched the side of him. Jimmy Spencer spins. This is at the end of lap 5. I believe Earnhardt spun just after that. We'll have to take a look and replay as we look further up the track. There you see him coming by. Caution is out at lap 5. And the car in trouble, Bobby Labonte. Safety crew there immediately for car number 22 as it slams the wall backwards. Boy, that's a toughie for Bobby Labonte.
Well, he really hit hard, Ken, to have that back end mashed all the way in. It looks like it might have ruptured the fuel cell.
He has already climbed out of the car and run to the wall.
Well, that's good news. That car was a ball of fire.
Earnhardt damage, nose. Bobby Labonte was 17th when that got away. Here's Todd Bodine on pit road. Here's another look. He's already had pretty strong contact with the wall, and Bodine in front of him has also been up there. See Earnhardt down at the bottom trying to get through.
Look at all that fire. That's a full load of fuel there.
Most dangerous time just on the start. Earnhardt spinning. Todd Bodine into the wall.
Okay, looks like Bobby Labonte was on the inside. May have got a little air taken off his rear spoiler, and he just spun around and collected a little bit of Todd Bodine as he slid up the banking and backed it into the wall. And that impact against the wall with that back of that car just ignited that fuel.
See Earnhardt, number 3, down on the bottom. Lucky there. Morgan Shepherd scoots underneath him.
I think he pulled that one off. I believe that little hood damage is not going to be too severe.
Under caution at lap 6 of 3:34. Bobby Labonte appears to be okay. We'll be back with more in a moment. Eight miles, 8 laps into the event, 12 miles. There are the current standings. That is the full field. Bring you up to date right now on where everyone is early on in the race. Back on pit road has come Earnhardt. Elliott, he's taken a lot of damage on the back of the Junior Johnson car, Cale.
Yes, he has, and this damage could hurt him with the speeds we're running now, Ken. The aerodynamics will definitely hurt.
Here's Dick Berggren.
Ken, the crew is working on the front end of Dale Earnhardt's car. It was his car that lifted Elliott's completely off the ground, according to the radio transmission we intercepted. David Smith, Andy Petrie, both working on the nose of that car. This is a racetrack where aerodynamics are extremely important. This is almost certain to upset the balance of this race car. He came in with 2 completely flat tires and 2 tires that looked like he'd been for quite a spinning ride.
Again, let's take a look at what happened in lap 8. See Earnhardt on the bottom getting ready to move through after Bobby Labonte was in contact with the wall. There's Earnhardt getting in there, but getting sideways, Cale.
Yes, he got sideways, and I think he and Elliott had a little contact before we saw that. But, you know, looking at Earnhardt's car, I don't think that'll be a major problem for him.
Take a look from the 98 car, Chuck Bound, as it comes down through here. Take us through this ride.
He sees all the trouble up there. He's slowing down and looking for a hole. And there goes Dale down low. I think he and Elliott have already touched. Oof. Dale gets onto the flat part of the apron and spins. Jeremy does a great job there, Cale, getting right on through that.
He
clean.
Sure does. Mighty good job getting through that.
Let's go to Ricky Craven back in the garage.
Thanks, Ken. Todd, obviously not where you want to be early on in the event. Tell us what happened.
Well, you know how it is, Rick. It's one of them racing deals. You know, Bobby got under me. Going into 3, you know, we rely so much on air to hold these cars down. I think either the air, me being on the outside of him, took the air off his car and just got him loose, or he hit that bump wrong or something. You know, it's just one of them racing deals. You know, it's a shame. We had one of the best cars in practice yesterday afternoon, and we really thought we had a shot to win the race. Factory Stores has a lot of people here. They were pumped up. Adidas, and you know, we were really disappointed, but you know, we'll get them next week.
Okay, thanks, Todd. Listen, if things are like they are today, like they were yesterday, rather, turn 3 is going to be the trouble spot, and it's going to be the same for a lot of them the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's a tough corner. It's you run in there and you rely so much on air to hold the car down. You're running so fast. You get a car outside you, that's all it is.
Okay, thanks, Todd.
Rick Craven, yesterday, of course, you're in that big battle, and you made a big jump on green yesterday in the championship. How rough was it up there in those Grand National cars in that turn 3 and 4 area, Ricky?
Listen, the surface is terrific, Ken, but you either got to go under that bump or you got to go around it on the top side. If you go through it and you're alone, the car will bottom out. If you go through it underneath somebody, your car's going to get real loose.
And that's what we just experienced here to bring out the first caution of the day. Working lap number 11 of the Mello Yello 500 at the great Charlotte Motor Speedway.
And we're back at the Charlotte Motor Speedway under caution after a huge crash in turn 3 and 4 earlier. Good to have you with us on TBS. Here's how they're running after just a few laps. And again, we are under caution. We're going to keep you updated all afternoon. Let you know where your favorite driver is standing at the moment. Ward Burton and John Andretti showing the way here just a few laps into our event this afternoon. Here in the SDP Communications Center, we're going to be keeping track of some of the team efforts and driver efforts today. We have 3 big awards to tell you about. Advance Auto Parts once again with the Pits Done Quickly Award. Top moving team today will receive an award. Advance and TBS Sports will contribute in that team's name to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We'll also be looking for the Liquid Wrench Slickest Move on or off the track today by a driver or a team. And the UAW GM Teamwork of Excellence Award. The team that does the best job today will win $5,000 from UAW and GM. Getting ready to go to green. Let's find out how Dale Earnhardt's doing. Here's Dick Berggren.
Well, he's doing pretty well right now, Rick. The crew says that they think they've got the car pretty well squared away. They've taped over the front end again. He just topped off with fuel. He's got more gas than anybody. Randy, what's happening at your end of the pit?
Well, Bill Elliott continues to work on his rear end problem. Several cars were in under that. Jimmy Spencer, Bobby Hamilton, as well as Jimmy Hensley all took that time to change tires. Kyle Petty has a major problem. Has had a miss since the beginning of this race. Could be a carburetor, could be an ignition. They're checking it on the Mello Yello Pontiac. Ken?
Back under green, coming around to complete lap 14. Earnhardt starting from 39th position. Wallace from 14th on the restart. Ward Burton deployed first. In second, John Andretti. Jeff Bodine is third. Michael Waltrip fourth. Joe Nemechek in fifth. Brett Bodine sixth. Jeff Gordon seventh. Then Labonte, followed by Saxon in 10th. Mark Martin with Schrader in 11th position. Ward Burton at 185.7, jumped the track record by more than 4 miles an hour. It had been set by Joe Nemechek back in the Winston Open of '93 at 181.5. An incredible jump. based on pavement, based on tires, and on the guts of those kids up in front. And we mean those kids. Rookies up there, standing on it. There you see Ward Burton, for the moment, drawing away, Cale. That South Boston, Virginia driver, he's a bit of a bulldog in the style he used to have.
Well, he's doing a good job, Ken. I think, you know, we haven't talked much about the tire wars, but these Hoosier tires are really getting the job done right now, but nobody's run them long enough yet to know how they're going to hold up throughout the day. But right now, Ward Burton and those Hoosiers are turning it on.
And there you see Dale Jarrett. He's just moved around Rusty Wallace to take over 14th position. Wallace falling back to 15th. Stories going around in the garage area, the rumor that he may be moving on, not part of that Joe Gibbs team next year.
I haven't heard that. Is that that's
one of the stories?
Yeah.
That rumor of the week.
Yeah.
About to be overlapped is car number 11, Bill Elliott. As you're looking here, there's Kenny Wallace in the Ernie Irvin car. Ernie's here. You heard him on our broadcast yesterday and was out here for the prayer before the event began for the invocation.
Looks like Mark Martin's just slipped back a couple positions as Derek Coates moved up to 11th, and Ricky Rudd came with him up to 12th.
You see the Bobby Allison car. There's Derek Cope in that 12th position. Rudd there. And looking on here is Mark Martin's view of things at the present time. Jack Roush Ford giving us these pictures. Pyro car. And look at Cope down on the inside. Blue number 12 making its move, trying to leap into another position.
He picks up another spot. Bobby Allison Ford is looking pretty good in the early stages here at Charlotte.
Puts Schrader in the trunk. Back again, you're inside of that car number 6. Closing up on Jarrett. That was in 10th position. Ricky Rudd to the outside. Trying to move around Jarrett. 185-mile-an-hour average in qualifying. How much do you step up? They were talking about running around this place wide open all the way as we go back up front and watch Ward Burton, John Andretti, Jeff Bodine, and in fourth, Michael Waltrip. Your old buddy Waddell Wilson, the guy that gave you that car that went 200 miles an hour for the first time down at Daytona, was saying, you don't want to do that. He said, you don't want to run it flat-footed. The only way to get around this thing fast is to lift.
Absolutely, Ken. You need to let the car, you need to lift the car in the corner so the car can take a set. If you go in run lap after lap, flat-footed all the way around here, you're just torching your tires and they won't last very long.
There you see Bodine slip to the inside on Andretti. Takes another look. Front four, then Nemechek, the number 5, coming back, and take a look at this one. Here's Rudd up on the outside. Ricky Rudd down on the bottom is the number 6 in this battle for 13th. Rusty Wallace right behind them.
That's about the only side-by-side battle we have right now on the racetrack. Since the restart, I think guys have just settled down a little bit, trying to feel out this new asphalt and see just exactly what their cars are going to do.
I think you're right, Chuck. I think that to begin with, they thought they'd run, really stretch them out, but now they just kind of just laying back in this long race. They just going to see what the cars handle like, and I think interested in what the tires are going to do too.
Here's Earnhardt, and he started 39th. He's back to 26. You see him making the move there on Hensley in the 54. So he's had to fight his way from 38th on the initial start. Now he's back to 39th to try it again. Took a jab to the nose on car number 3 in that altercation up in turns 3 and 4. And you can see how much distance he's got to make up to get back in here and play this afternoon.
I don't think the sheet metal is going to have any problem whatsoever, Ken. Anything it may have to, it mashed that nose down a little bit, put a little more streamline to it.
Put a little more rake in it.
Put a little more rake in it, and I don't think it'll bother me.
Let's go back up front as we watch Ward Burton first, John Andretti second, Jeff Bodine third, and Michael Waltrip fourth. You ever bent a car in a race and had it run better, Chuck?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes you hit hard in the wall in the old days and bend the frame a little bit, and it becomes a much better race car. But I think those days are gone, but minor bends sometimes will still help out a little bit.
How about it, Cale? Did you win one of those 83 that way?
I probably did. I've had some awful bad handling cars, and and get in a little wreck with them, and they had a little bit better, no doubt about it. But like Chuck says, I think those days are pretty much over now.
His first 4 cars are staying pretty close. They seem to be pretty evenly matched at this time, but nobody's passing anybody. They're just following each other.
Rick Benjamin is standing by with the first victim of the Mello Yello 500.
Ken, we're in the SDP Pit Communications Center. Pleased to see Bobby Labonte walking around. Sorry it's so early. Scary moment for you, I'm sure.
Well, I tell you what, it's nothing. You know, you don't want to be involved in any fire of any type, and you really don't want to be involved in an accident, that's for sure. But just got the air taken off the spoiler. It's just one of those situations where, you know, hate that happened, but the worst part was it got a couple of the cars in it, and we hate that more than anything. But we can always get a car better again later on. It just wasn't meant for today.
You tried to get inside Todd Bodine there. Is there a lot of concern now about the ability to run these cars side by side down in 3 and 4?
Well, we definitely got side by side down the straightaway, and wasn't no giving on his part, so I tried to get as low as I could. It wasn't no doing, so I don't know why, but it's just one of those deals.
And your brother trying to advance through the field here. He turned in a great ride yesterday.
Yeah, he sure did. You know, our Maxwell House Pontiac was going to be okay today. We had a really good motor, really good race car. It's just one of those situations.
Well, we're glad to have you with us. Glad you're okay. Bobby Labonte, thanks for stopping by.
Okay, thanks.
Let's take a look at a Napa running order as we follow a little further back in the field. Take a look at your favorites out here. We have this Napa rundown for you on how this race is being put together with the 27 laps on the board. This is the 26 rundown. Blake Speed back there in 20th. Earnhardt now up to 25th and closing on Harry Gant. Derek Cope's number 12 sliding back several positions. Saw Mark Martin skin by him. And you're riding again with Mark. Closing in. Ever closer on Schrader in 11th position. Leader continues to be young Ward Burton, still looking for his first Winston Cup victory with John Andretti hanging on to second place. Caution is out. Second time today. Lap number 30. Reason, the leader, Ward Burton, traveling through turns 1 and 2. Apparently an engine let go and sent him head on into the wall. Watch this one. Lead car, 31.
Ken, I think the right front tire blew on that car rather than an engine. It looks like the right front fender even wrinkled up as it was heading up toward the wall from flapping rubber. He was doing a great job just sitting out there leading the race, and it just come apart.
Well, you know, we were talking earlier, nobody had run long runs. Nobody really knows what the tire situation is going to be, and I think that's maybe an indication right there.
You know, on these radial tires, it's extremely hard to tell if you have one cut down and it's starting to go flat. They don't give you much warning about one lap, and they go from a slow leak to popping.
In-car angle of number 31, Ward Burton. This is one of the Hoosier cars in the race. This is another Hoosier car. Just went away, climbed up the track and into the wall. Crashed here in May, and a hard crash here today for South Boston, Virginia's Ward Burton, but we saw him walk from the car. He's been the prime test driver on those Hoosiers. Done an outstanding job of getting a lot of mileage on them and has learned a lot, but not much he could do about that. Let's go to Rick Craven.
Ken, about the tires, you know, with a new surface comes a lot of speed, and also we eliminate some tire wear. When you eliminate tire wear, the tires run hotter. They need to wear to cool, and when they don't wear, they build heat and they'll either blister or blow.
And that's probably what we saw right there in turns 1 and 2. As you continue to watch the work on car number 11, looks like they're trying desperately to get Bill Elliott back in this race with that car. He's had some good finishes recently for number 11 and trying to stay in this thing today. Here's Dick Berggren.
Well, Ken, while I can't tell you for sure why Ward Burton's tire blew out, I can tell you that they were concerned about tires. They made an interesting observation yesterday afternoon in testing in practice. That was, if they wanted to go as fast as the car would go, they were the fastest car out here. But tire temperatures got to the point that they were sure that they were going to blister those tires. So what Burton was trying to do here, he was just trying to take it a little bit easy. Even though he was leading, he could have gone faster. trying to take it easy to make sure nothing happened to those tires. As long as he did that, he was convinced he could have been the fastest guy in the field, but he would have taken care of the tires. Right front went anyway. Boom, in the wall. Randy Pemberton.
Well, just to add to the tire deal, when they came here and tested, both Goodyear and Hoosier tested tires. They both went back to the manufacturer plants and they designed basically a new tire. They came with new compound. As far as the Goodyear goes, it's much like the Dover tire. They have a wider left side than the Hoosier, and as far as the right side, a little more stagger in the Goodyear tire, about 1.25 inches, where it's only about 1 inch as far as the Hoosier is concerned, because Goodyear thought that they might have a problem with cars pushing, so they thought they'd give them a little more stagger. That's really the tire situation as we head into the Mello Yello 500, the early stages today.
It's working lap 34 with the Petty Enterprises, number 43, John Andretti out in front. The last time that car led in this race, 1983. Back here at the Mello Yello 500 at Charlotte, North Carolina, where John Andretti leads as they complete lap 37, just under the green flag again. That's the first full complete lap under green since the caution. And there you see a bit of the rundown of the field as we watch car number 3. Here's the story of the moment. Remember, he was back in 39th. Forget it. He's now up to 18th and still charging. Right back through the field. Interesting, one of the new items that they're selling here at the racetrack in the Earnhardt sales area are wind chimes. Second place battle developing. Nemechek to the inside on Jeff Gordon.
John Andretti's probably really appreciating this. It's giving him an opportunity to scoot out as they run side by side behind him.
There you see the interval. They're doubling him up a little further back. Terry Labonte is right in there. I'm with Brett Bodine. You're riding with Terry in the Kellogg's car. Again, won the 300 yesterday. We'll have the story on that a bit for you later this afternoon. Greg Sachs is right up in it, 77, and there's Jeff Bodine. Andretti first. Nemechek to second. Gordon third. Terry Labonte in fourth. And we're ready to swap them around again. Second spot challenge this time from Labonte. Moving on the bottom. It's Gordon. Closes up. Goes after Nemechek. Here comes Sachs down to the bottom and looking good.
Yeah, Sachs come with him and took Gordon, and now he's up beside Labonte.
Richard Petty's 198th win was in this race, the 500. That was in '83. He's standing right down there now with Dick Burton.
Well, John Andretti had only led 2 laps in 1994 until now, but Richard, it seems as if every time TBS does a show, you guys run better and better. How about this kid?
Well, we'll keep doing that then. Yeah, he's running good right now. Everything's working good. If we can just keep it that way all day, we'll be in good shape. But long old race, and them Hoosiers are going to come on. So we'll wait and see what happens.
Tires are on everyone's mind.
40 of 334 laps complete. John Andretti with the advantage over Nemechek in second. And now Greg Sachs takes third. Terry Labonte fourth. Bodine is in fifth. That looks like Jarrett coming up. Rusty Wallace noses in here. Rusty Wallace moving right back into competition.
We've seen a little bit more two-abreast racing on this restart. After they got to run 30 laps of green flag, they made that pit stop and got to make a few minor adjustments to get the cars just a little more comfortable.
And I think they all wanted to take a look at the tires too, Chuck, and see just what they look like. And the ones that are running two abreast now, I think the tires must have looked pretty good at the time, so they're going to let her go now.
That's a good point, Cale.
Jeff Bodine holding fifth, and closing on Terry Labonte in fourth.
Brand new asphalt is just notorious for high tire temperatures, as we've mentioned, but I think just about every single team in this race took advantage during the practice sessions to what they call scuff their tires, and that helps resist some of the blistering problems. And what they do is they put a brand new set of tires on, they go out and they practice on them for about 5 laps, and then they pull them off and save them for the race. And each team's done that with many, many sets of tires to get through this day, hopefully without any blistered tires.
Chuck, some of them even went on twice. You know, you go out and you run about 5 laps, you take them off and you let them cool off, and that hardens them just a little bit. And some teams scuff their tires twice.
And I spoke to Buddy Parrott this morning, and he doused his with a water hose when he pulled them off hot, just to try to toughen them up a little bit more.
Jeff Bodine continues to peak on the inside. Not ready to make a full commitment there. Make that run on Terry Labonte. Got it. Turn 3. Bodine to 4th, Terry Labonte back to 5th. Now 24, Gordon. He's dropping back. He's dropped from 2nd to 13th, now to 14th. He goes back as Earnhardt comes around him. And that's happened the last 7 or 8 laps.
Yeah, he's made that slide back in a big hurry. This race hasn't been restarted all that long. He must definitely have some kind of a problem.
Well, we need to have some of the folks down in the pits check with Ray Evernham on that car, number 24 of Jeff Gordon. Winner here in the 600 in May, sliding back through the field here at lap 45. EW. Waltrip in the 17 is running in, we have it as 32nd position. Gant's right there with him in the 33.
Well, if you notice, DW usually in a race like this will sit back a while. And, but if he runs all day long, you can almost count on DW being pretty close to the front.
Randy Pemberton can tell us more about this one.
Hey, Cale, the car's flat. The 17 car is definitely flat. They're thinking possible ignition. The car just doesn't sound like it's hitting right when it comes by me on the front stretch. So they're going to work on the 17 car. As far as Harry Gant goes, they're thinking a possible broken shock already, and that'll be a tough thing for Harry Gant. You can't change a shock without losing at least a lap, and that's probably under caution.
Oh, that's too bad for Gant in his 19th and final start here in the Mello Yello 500. Here's the 77, Greg Sachs in 3rd. Jeff Bodine, a couple of Yankees running 3rd and 4th out here.
2 Hoosier cars.
Closing on Nemechek.
You know, Jeff Bodine just before that pit stop was in the 2nd position. Now, I don't know if his pit crew did some extra adjustments or if it was just a slow stop, but I think he come out only 7th, so now he's trying to work his way back up there.
Call that 3 Hoosier cars. Nemechek, Sachs, and Bodine. John Andretti leading on Goodyears at the present time. And his lead diminishes. He's getting caught up out there by that trio. Side battery car in 4th, riding with Jeff. You talk about the old days. They say Bodine, a couple of cautions a little bit different. He wouldn't have won by a lap. He'd have won by 2 laps at North Wilkes.
No doubt about it. He was hooked up. Very seldom you see this day and time anybody that really puts that kind of, has that kind of class on the field, but he did it.
He's had more DNFs than almost anybody else among the strong runners here, but when that car works, good night.
Yeah, his consistency's not quite there, but he sure does go fast. He's having a very good year, his first year as a car owner.
Dale Jarrett lies 6th, and here comes that number 3. Earnhardt's used to coming from the back. Tom Higgins was pointing out this morning in the Observer that he's done it more than once. Started 24th at Bristol, won it, started 24th at Michigan, finished 2nd, started 27th and finished 2nd at Darlington, started 37th and finished 2nd at Dover. He's used to coming from the rear.
Well, Jeff Gordon's crew has struggled with their car all week long here at Charlotte. They haven't been happy with the way it has handled since they took it off the truck. And right now its problem, according to Ray Evernham, is it's wicked loose. That's Ray Evernham's version of what's wrong with the car. This is a great car. It's Bugard that won the Brickyard 400.
So there's the story on car number 24 as we go back up front. And they focus on Andretti and the Richard Petty, number 43. Nemechek, Sachs, Bodine. All Hoosier shod cars closing up on that number 43 Goodyear machine. Been a while since we've seen a Pontiac running this well. And they qualified well. They'll continue to lead at lap 52.
That racing's starting to settle down just a little bit behind John. They've got single file and they're starting to run him down now. He's going to have to work hard to hold on to that lead, it looks like.
Dale Jarrett coming into your picture just behind the number 6 of Terry Labonte. The number 18 Jarrett is running strong. He started 22nd And now you find him up there in the 6th position. Best finish this year was 4th in the 600 right here in May. Good run by Jarrett, broken wrist and all. Back up with the leader. Here's John Andretti, bringing him around for lap 54 on the 1.5 miles. Nemechek still lies 2nd. Sachs having a great run in 3rd.
This is one of the biggest races of the year, and here we have 2 rookies, 1st and 2nd, showing the way.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. You know, Andretti's car is just handling perfect. He can run right down on that bottom line all the way around this racetrack, and they just hit it perfect, and he's doing a great job.
So John Andretti stays in front up there at Penny Enterprises these days. What's it like working for the King, John?
You know, Richard and I have a good relationship. He helps me with some of my driving and talking to some of the other guys, and so it's just been great. It's a really good team, and I'm enjoying myself with them.
But the story, one of the rumors is that he's already on his way to another team for next year. That he'll join Michael Kranofus and Tim Brewer and that collection. Haas, stay tuned on that one, huh?
You think the ink's dry yet?
He's sure doing a job for Richard right now. Back in the main straightaway with Nemechek still in 2nd. Nemechek seems to run very well in that car number 41. He's going to have his own team next year, and Ricky Craven will take over in that car 41 that's now in 2nd place, the Hedrick car. Talk about that speed shot that you just saw as we watch the 26 continuing to work in 11th spot. Brett Bodine and Rusty Wallace. When you see them through that speed shot, how fast are they really going, guys?
Well, they're moving right along. I'm not exactly sure how quick they're going, but they must be hitting the top speed here of over 190 miles an hour.
Sachs into 2nd, Bodine on the outside for 3rd and number 7. Nemechek slides back a couple of spots here.
Well, yeah, it looks like Bodine right now may have the fastest car on the racetrack, Ken. I've been watching him. He's taking his time. He's not taking any chances, but he has really got that thing hooked up.
And an update on the situation regarding Ward Burton, who qualified on the pole, led early, cut down a tire apparently, and whacked the wall. Ward's been taken from the track to a local hospital for a precautionary checkover. They just want to look at him, run a few tests. We saw him climb out of the car, walk around on his own, says he feels pretty well, but they just want to check him to make sure. So Ward not at the racetrack at the moment.
Terry Labonte giving us these pictures from Kellogg's car back in 4th spot.
It's a pretty good mix between the Hoosiers and the Goodyears right now. They have the Goodyears 1st and 4th, with the Hoosiers 2nd and 3rd.
Pretty good mix in cars, too. Pontiac 1st, Ford 2nd, 3rd, Chevy's 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, including Schrader. And Rudd in the Ford back in 8th, and Michael Waltrip's Pontiac is 9th, and a Chevy in 10th. Wow. So we're 59 laps deep into the running of the Mello Yello 500 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. John Andretti getting challenged. Here's Sachs going for the lead. Pulls right up through, and along with him's coming Bodine.
I guess the Hoosier cars decided it was time to go. Terry Labonte taking a look out there too.
John Andretti falling back to 4th as Dale Jarrett's going to move on him too, coming out of that 4th corner.
See if he can get back in line now and maintain the 5th position.
Yeah, he slid back in there. Pulled up to 5th. Andretti, Sachs leading, Bodine 2nd. Terry Labonte in 3rd, and here comes Bodine on the outside. He's trying for the 1st spot, going into 3. Back comes Sachs. Don't think he can carry it.
I think when these guys get somebody up on the outside of them, they're a little bit cautious. They saw what happened to Bobby Labonte in the opening laps, and they don't want to experience that, losing all the air off that rear spoiler. They're going to be a little bit wise when they're forced down on the inside.
We'll talk to Ricky Craven about that. He had a lot of that experience yesterday in the 300 miler. But for the moment, Bodine is in front. It is Sachs going into 2nd. Terry Labonte is in 3rd. Dale Jarrett 4th. John Andretti 5th, Nemechek 6th, Schrader, Rudd, Michael Waltrip, and Marlin the top 10. We're back. They put the first 100 miles to bed. We're at lap 69, which will be 103.5 miles, with Bodine leading for the 18th race this year out of the 25 that have been run. It's Jeff Bodine out in front, looking a little further back. There you see Nemechek in 7th. That's Rudd in 8th, Wallace in 9th, and right behind him, Sterling Marlin in 10th. Michael Waltrip 11th, and then Dale Earnhardt back in this skirmish. He's come from 38th and 39th in the early going. Rusty Wallace stays 9th. There's the 77. Greg Saxon 3rd. Jarrett's with him. Ken Schrader on the tail end of that in 5th.
Sachs has really taken a high line through turns 3 and 4. He must be finding something up there that works a little bit better for his race car.
And Andretti has dropped back to 6th. Randy can tell us more about the 77 car.
Well, he is on Hoosiers today, Ken. Speculation was Hoosier could run about 50 laps before it really started to fade. Goodyear maybe closer to 60. The tires that came off of Sachs's car right after that first caution, I deferred my tire expertise to Tony Furr, the crew chief of this car. He said they were absolutely fine, so not too bad a tire wear for Greg Sachs and his Hoosiers. We'll have to check on the Goodyears to see what they're like.
Here's Jarrett working on Schrader. We'll get that Goodyear update for you shortly. It's the old Harry Gant line out there, Cale. That's 77 that Sachs is using. That way outside, easy roll, like what he won with in 82.
Yeah, Harry always did like that high groove. But usually, you know, the quickest way around a racetrack is down at the bottom if you can stay down there and the car's handling good. But Greg's car looks like it's working well higher, but most cars are running better down low.
Jeff Burton, running in 28th, has just brought number 8 on pit road. That's Jeff Burton, the leading rookie this year, but look at this fight. Talk about speed. They sure got it here in Charlotte. As you watch Schrader and Dale Jarrett, 3rd and 4th. And it looks like the 2 has moved up on the 43, and here comes that number 3 as well. The battle everybody's come to see between Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt. Another time. With Mark Martin back in 13th.
Not a lot of separation from Schrader in the 3rd position all the way back to Gordon in the 15th position. That whole group of cars are pretty close together.
Look at Dale Jarrett down on the inside in 3rd spot. Schrader posted on the outside in 4th. And Rusty Wallace is rolling in number 2.
You must see Earnhardt coming.
Loy Allen is pitted, car number 19. This is lap 73. Here's your struggle. Jarrett low side, high side, Schrader. And Wallace looks them over at 190 miles an hour.
Rusty's just sitting there wanting to know which one of you guys is going to go.
That's right.
Because he's wanting by.
They string him out again through 4. Take a look at the 18 car right here. John Andretti's coming out of pit road. Watch this replay. That's a handful.
That's that 180-mile-an-hour wiggle.
That's right. It almost got away from him.
Down to Dick Berggren.
John Andretti, who had been leading, is taking an unscheduled pit stop as he's 10 laps too early. The problem, they thought they had a right front tire going down. The car started pushing into corners. They decided to change 4 tires. He is gone. He is down a lap, though.
19-1 and away.
That was a good call by John Andretti, though, because if it were going down, it might have just been 1 or 2 laps, and what happened to Ward Burton may have happened to John. You just can't take a chance on it.
And for the first time this afternoon, breaking into the top 10, 20 is in the wall. Jimmy Hensley in there today for Randy LaJoie. Brings out the 2nd caution of the afternoon.
That's a misfortune for John Andretti there. He's probably down a lap now.
Out of 4. That is a bad break for Richard Petty and Andretti. Randy LaJoie crashed hard in his Grand National car.
Kyle Petty's car doesn't seem to be up to speed today. He went down a lap when we were away at break, and I see him now in the pits under the green flag with the hood up just before this caution came out. So
First car to be lapped.
Kyle having a tough week here at Charlotte.
Jimmy Hensley taking over today for Randy LaJoie, who had a terrible crash in practice. Took a slight concussion. He's been out here both days, but both days elected to have someone else in the car. So the 20 is out. Looks like they say he went up into the wall by himself. See the right front battered on that one. Looks like the end of the day for the Moroso car, Finalou car. That was at lap 76. We're in 77 at the present time. Leaders should be pitting with Jeff Bodine bringing him down. Labonte, Schrader, Wallace, Jarrett, Sachs, Marlin, Michael Waltrip, Ricky Rudd, Mark Martin, the top 10. Change that, move Rudd into the, rather Earnhardt into that top 10 with the shuffle. Let's go to Dick Berger.
Jeff Bodine is coming in for his pit stop now. They're going to take 4 new tires on it. Paul Andrews puts a half a round of wedge in the back end. That's probably not going to change the car as much as the tires, however. The most important change that happens in one of these pit stops is the air pressure on the tires. They think they might have an electrical problem on this number 7 car. They're shutting things off on the dashboard to try to save whatever they can in terms of electrical energy.
Everybody back out on a beautiful pit stop by Jeff Bodine's team. He leads the field back onto the track in lap 78. So we'll sort the field out for you and be back for more of the action after this caution period, third of the afternoon.
Still under caution at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, working into the 80s now in our lap count today. Jeff Bodine leading before that caution. Let's show you where we're going to be here on TBS Sports next year on the Winston Cup Trail. We go back to work in March in Richmond for the Pontiac Excitement 400. Back here at Charlotte Memorial Day weekend, the Coca-Cola 600 on the 28th. Back to Pocono July 16th, the Miller Genuine Draft 500. We return for the Saturday night show in Richmond in September, the Miller Genuine Draft 400. 1 year from today, the Mello Yello 500 right back here on TBS at Charlotte, North Carolina. Jeff Bodine was on pit road. He led the field off pit road and back onto the racetrack, but Dick Berger standing by at Jeff's pits. Dick, is there more problem with that car?
Well, they hope there's no problem with it right now, Rick. You know, you've heard about drivers having ignition systems that they can switch. Believe it or not, Jeff Bodine has 2 batteries in this car. And when the ignition started to not work properly, he switched to the second battery and says now everything seems to be running just fine. But they do have their fingers crossed for sure in the number 7 pit.
123 miles have been completed. This is the 3rd caution period of the day. That's caution period number 3. We're getting set to take a green flag. Let's go to Rick Craven for a moment. He ran yesterday up in the front of that 300 most of the day and wound up in 8th out there. What's it like running side by side, particularly on that 3rd and 4th? We talked about it a little earlier with you earlier here with you about that. But it seems to us that every time we saw you, they're taking the wind off the back of those things and making them pretty loose.
Ken, you know, all week, the Busch drivers, the Winston Cup drivers, we've been comparing Charlotte to Daytona and Talladega. The big difference, the Busch cars have an extra 100 horsepower here at Charlotte. The Winston Cup cars got an extra 300 horsepower. That's the difference. That's where the problem lies, in my opinion.
Back under green. Move on the back straightaway. Down to the inside. We watch the field rolling into 3. On board the Kellogg's car. Andretti wobbled a little as he came off the corner. Burton trying to get a lap back. Musgrave with him.
There's some real scrambling going on up there at the front. Some guys trying to stay in the tail end of the lead lap because your race leader is way back there.
That's Bodine. He is the leader as he's trying to get down through.
Looks like Terry Labonte has taken the lead now. Dale Earnhardt's up to lead, up to second. Going for the lead right now.
Whoa. Got Andretti trapped a lap back.
He's beat Busty to the bonus points. There he goes.
He's got him.
How'd he do that?
That little lick on it, that little streamline front end, I think, helped him fly. I don't know. I think he'd have done it without that.
Started 38th today. Relegated back to 39th after he got in the bump and run, spun around.
Not going to have it for long. Yeah.
Lap 84 takes the lead. Bodine realizes it. They close on Loy Allen. See what they're going to do here. Musgrave and Allen trying to stay in that lead lap. Earnhardt with that higher line, and here comes Bodine, and does that car work on the bottom?
I mean, it sure does. You know, we've been watching him all day, and that car sticks right where he puts it. Goes Dale back by him, though. Dale takes the lead back.
Yeah, I think Jeff thought better of racing him hard on the inside.
I think you're right.
Maybe. Take a look at this. Thank you very much.
Take a look at this. They are 3 wide back there.
Man.
Right.
Morgan Shepherd, Mike Wallace, Kenny Wallace, Jeremy Mayfield, a whole bunch of them up there.
Mike Wallace, great qualifying position for this race. Running 18th right now in that number 90 car. Riding with Jeremy Mayfield, the Finger Hut car.
Yeah.
Hanging on to it out there. He's had a good run going today.
He has.
Top 20, what, 17th now, Ken?
He's doing a good job. You know, I said earlier that Jeremy needs some seat time, and that's what we're looking for. He's going to do a good job.
25 years old. Former go-kart champion. Coming along well. Out the back of Mayfield's car.
Right there you can see how big those rear spoilers are, and at 180 miles an hour, it's several hundred pounds of force pushing down on those rear tires.
And sometimes that's not enough.
That's right. When you get in certain traffic situations, it goes from several hundred pounds to no pounds on the rear tires, and that's how they spin out.
Take the air off that blade, and you know you got a handful in these 24-degree blanks. Bodine stays in first, Earnhardt second. In fact, it's Jeff Bodine first, Dale Earnhardt second, and Brett Bodine third up in front now. Here's Morgan Shepherd making his run in the 21 car, and he's got Kenny Wallace alongside.
Jeremy Mayfield has Robert Presley on the outside of him, who we haven't seen much of this year in Winston Cup, but we'll see a lot of him next year.
So you're back there from 17th, 18th, 19th. This is the struggle that's going on.
Can you see that number in the Jeremy's car right there?
Yeah.
That's Finger Hut's new catalog, and if you want to order that catalog, it's a full racing catalog. You need to make that, write that number down and give them a call. They'll send you one free. Got everybody's souvenirs in it.
See?
Great catalog.
You knew that if you got him up, he couldn't resist.
Ken, do you think you and I are in it?
Yeah,
there's no antiques in there.
There it is again, too, Ken.
Now. Well, they're doing some racing there.
They sure are. Makes the car one nervous.
I'm surprised you haven't got that driver pointing every lap over there. Back up front. Here's Jeff Bodine. Earnhardt falling back to third. That's Brett Bodine in the 26. Down on the bottom, taking second. The Bodine brothers. Hoosier first, Goodyear second. First and second. Oh, my heart. That Mother Bodine's a little concerned now. Dick Berggren.
I'm with Andy Petrie, crew chief for Dale Earnhardt. Well, you guys started in the back, Crash got even further back. Now you're up front and working your way back. What's going on?
Well, you know, we had dodged a bullet there early in the race. I don't know what happened over there when he got into the back of one of those cars. I guess one of them got a little loose and he got in the back of Bill. But got a couple of breaks. You know, we had a good pit stop here a while ago and adjusted the car a little bit. And looks like it must have helped you. You got up here and led a lap. Now we're just going to try to, you know, sit back here, take it easy, and make some happen.
Well, they did a great job on the nose of this car. It's almost looking brand new.
Jeff Burton going a lap down again, running back in 35th position. Earnhardt lying third, right behind Brett Bodine. Dale Earnhardt, some people say when you're out here sometimes you're stroking, not racing. What about that?
I'm racing. I don't care what they say. We race to the end of this thing, win the championship. You know, I've been beating doors with Rusty and bumpers and racing hard as I can go. I don't know what they call it.
From 38th to the first, and then 39th. actually, when he got set back that time.
That's racing in anybody's book.
I don't think Dale Earnhardt knows how to ride.
Here's Ricky Rudd, staying right in the thick of this battle, up in 6th spot. Schrader right behind him. Sterling Marlin on the outside. All of this for 6. 3 wide. Big. Looks like Pearson, Yarborough, Petty.
We had a lot of good times, Ken, I'll tell you. A lot of them were right here at Charlotte, too.
See, Terry Labonte just wiggled a little bit on the inside of Ricky Rudd there in the 10 car, and it cost him a couple of car lengths of track time, but it looked like he was prepared for it and ready for it, and he didn't wreck. He just kept it going.
Back in 11th, Dale Jarrett. We're still very early on, folks, at 96 laps of the 334 to be run. 144 miles.
You know, with the exception of a couple of cars that are having sheet metal problems or from wrecks or engine trouble that are just kind of riding out there, I'm impressed the way this whole pack is pretty much staying caught up. They're just not falling behind like they usually do in Charlotte.
Well, that's 5th to 13th right there in that picture.
That's a perfect example.
Take your choice.
Looks like a trophy dash.
Sure does. You know, I told you at the beginning of the show, I didn't think it was going to be a line up race anyway.
Follow the leader.
Because I follow the leader here. Because I'm going to tell you, these guys aren't following in the leader there. Look at that. It's 3 abreast.
Beautiful move by Jarrett. Shoots right up to
Schrader
6th
gets
spot.
drop kicked.
Yep. Whoops. Kenny Wallace doing a good job with the Robert Yates car today.
Gary Cope had fallen back for a little while. It looks like he's trying to charge his way back up there.
Terry Labonte settles in, makes a run. These cars are running about 6 7/10 seconds down to the leaders, Jeff and Brett Bodine, 1st and 2nd respectively. Sterling Marlin 5th, leading this group. There you see Ricky Rudd into 6th. Going to 7th, Jarrett, Derek Cope. Now Terry Labonte pulls up in that. And there you see Rusty Wallace.
Looks like Rusty's having some problems of some kind, Ken. He's dropping way back.
Yeah, 23rd.
Yeah, Harry Gantz, looks like Harry Gantz fixing to go by him. Yeah, it does look like he's pushing bad.
Well, we'll try to get a word with Buddy Parrott and see what's happened to Rusty Wallace. He was breathing easy for a few laps. First he had his nemesis, Earnhardt, starting 38th. Then he had him all the way in the rear after the car got crunched. Now it's the other way around. Up fighting for the lead is Earnhardt and holding on, Rusty Wallace. Harry Gant, final performance at Charlotte, where his racing Winston Cup career began. Heaven knows where his stock car career began. All those good years, all those great races.
You know, Jeff Bodine and Brett Bodine and Dale Earnhardt have pulled out from the field, but Dale Jarrett 4th on back. They are really close. 4th, just about clear through to last right now.
Providing the exciting aerial shots. Today's Mello Yello 500 Advanced Auto Home of the PDQ parts. Quick delivery. Parts delivered quick. PDQ. Pretty good idea where those cars are as we get to lap 102 past the 100 mark.
Joe Nemechek, they're racing for the 10th position right there. And they've got a lot of them right in front of them and a lot of them right behind them.
Nemechek in 11th. Schrader swapping position.
Jeff Gordon probably got to tighten his car up a little bit as he has pulled on off from that pack just a little bit.
Kenny Wallace taking a shot at Nemechek. Another go at 11th spot with Derek Cope in there as well. Great racing back in the pack. Also in there is car 80. Just behind them is 80, and that is Joe Ruttman, and he's doing a great job. He's up to 15th today. Started well back on the field to Joe, but he's doing that car a great run. Started 30th today. In that pack, fighting in 11th back to 16th. Currently running 50th. Schrader for the moment into 10th, and Nemechek, the yellow car, running just behind him in 11th. Kenny Wallace up to 12th. For 13th, Derek Hope, and 14th, Darrell Waldrop. Randy can tell us a bit more about the Rusty Wallace experience out here today.
Well, Kenny's fallen deep in the field, as we can see. I've talked with engine builder David Evans and Buddy Parrott. He just doesn't like the set of tires he's got on right now, and he's not in jeopardy of going a lap, so he's just riding nice and easy, not trying to make a mistake, get these things off and get 4 fresh ones on.
So another guy looking for a caution out here to get him right with the world. 106 laps are complete. 159 miles in the Mello Yello 500 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. With the Bodines, Jeff and Brett first and second, Earnhardt third, Michael Waltrip fourth, and Dale Jarrett stays fifth. Back with you, lap 111. Advance Auto Parts bringing these exciting pictures from the aerial platform here today. Advance Auto Home. The PDQ parts delivered quick. It's Kenny Wallace on the inside. And he's got Schrader working on him, as well as Waltrip and Cope.
If Darrell's car was skipping earlier, it must have cleaned up, because he's keeping right up there. He's just barely out of the top 10 right now. I think he's in the 12th position. And right in front of him, Kenny Wallace and Schrader are fighting for 10th.
Cope is in there. Nemechek slid back. One of the cars that's having a big problem out here right now appears to be Mark Martin. He has slid back. We're riding with him right now in 26th position. And that motor, as you listen to it here, what do you think, guys? Is that going sour?
It doesn't sound like it's on all eight, Ken. Sounds like a valve spring or something.
The last caution period, Mark made about 3 trips to pit road with the hood up every time. So I think something's going to miss. He's fallen way back on in his position here, so evidently he's just doing the best he can.
Let's take a look at the Napa rundown, Napa running order through the field here. The Bodine stay first and second.
Horsepower is more important this trip with the new asphalt than it's been in Charlotte in a long, long time. And when something goes amiss with your engine like it has with Mark, it makes a long day of it.
A little concern about the weather here today, too. The rain front moving through this part of the country. I think they're going to get this one in, but there is a question mark. Jeff Bodine, there you see him in the lead. Looking for another win. He won this race back in 91, and he had a great run here in May when he came home third to Jeff Gordon. And of course, the week before that 600 showed the colors of number 7. They'd win the Winston Select.
Right now, Jeff Bodine only has 1 car between himself and lapping Rusty Wallace, and that would be the damaged Bill Elliott machine. Rusty's about 8, just a little over 8 seconds from going down a lap.
Jeff Gordon into 8th, right back to 9th. Get a word about the weather. Rick Craven's been checking with the NASCAR folks, I believe. What's the story down there, Rick?
Ken, the sun's out now. Doesn't mean that the possibility of rain is out of the question. In fact, I've gotten from the experts being the crew members, dozens of them coming in and out, that we're probably 20 miles from getting some rain. And they're all scurrying in and out and trying to decide what they're going to do. maybe a short race, maybe a little break, maybe be no rain.
Well, right now we're at 175 miles, Rick. Trying to stretch it up to 250 and make this one official out there.
Well, let's just hope that weather's only moving about 1 mile an hour and we'll be fine.
Catch you up that Michael Waltrip is 4th. Dale Jarrett lies 5th. Terry Labonte 6th. Sterling Marlin 7th. If you're just joining us, there have been 3 caution periods for a total of 18 laps thus far. 138 mile an hour average thus far on the race. We've had the lead swapped 9 times among 6 drivers. Here's Earnhardt out doing a little fishing this afternoon.
He's gotten by Brett Bodine. He's up to the 2nd position. He's between the Bodine brothers right now.
Jeff Bodine, how do you think your team has adapted to having a new car owner and a new driver?
We've had a lot of good days and we have a lot of bad days this year and even in the last year. And especially what these fellas have been through with Alan, the championship, then losing Alan, and then having a new owner driver come in. And we had our share of problems, but you know, they've hung in there. They've stuck with me. They've become more than just employees, they've become friends.
That's the whole team. Those of you that are just with us for the first time, that is the owner, that is the driver, and he is sure smooth. He seems to know more about tires and how to make those Hoosiers work than anybody else in that league.
Well, there's no doubt about it, Ken. You know, a lot of these guys that's been running the Hoosier tires just seem to have problems with them, and Jeff just goes out and sculpts everybody with them. I just don't understand it. I do understand it too. He's an excellent chassis man, and that's the name of the game when it comes to having a good tire wear, setting up the right kind of chassis. And Jeff, there's no better than Jeff.
120 laps are complete, 180 miles down. They say rain on the way here in Charlotte. Stay with us. Back with you for the Mello Yello 500 on TBS this afternoon. Here's the full field rundown for you with Bodine continuing to write the story. Earnhardt has come back up into 2nd. He seems to be driving nails into the coffin of Rusty Wallace in car number 2, who's pulling onto pit road right now at lap 129. Wallace is coming in, and Earnhardt, who's had to make it from the rear twice, continues to have a phenomenal day here, and with that 200-plus point advantage coming into today's event. Let's go to Dick Berggren quickly on pit road.
And Wallace is coming in, going to do a 4-tire change. They're going to change the plate on this car as they are blocking this thing. They're going to try to beat the 17-second stop that they had last weekend at Wilkesboro. Right side's all done, left side ready to go. Billy Wilburn up in the left front of the car. There he goes. 18.6, not quite as good as they did last week for sure. Most important thing, they've got to adjust that car to get him running faster.
He had to do something, Ken. He was just fixing to go a lap down, so I think it was a little early for him, but he had to come in and make some changes.
And now he finds himself 2 laps down with a green flag pit stop plus being lapped before he come in anyway, so he's going to have to really run hard now.
And pray that a caution doesn't come out here and lock him into that for a while. What he needs is to have them go through a period on pit road, hopefully get one of those back.
Knowing that race team, I'm almost surprised they didn't call that stop a little bit sooner. Rusty's not one to hang out there and run when it's not up to par. He'll come on in and fix it, get that pace back up there where it needs to be.
Take a look at this scramble. 11th place out there. And for the moment, Morgan Shepherd is there. Darrell Waltrip had it a moment ago. He's fallen back to 12th, and Kenny Wallace stays right with them. There are 28 cars in the lead lap. And again, Mark Martin is on pit road in car number 6. Not having a good day. He's already gone a lap down, being shown in 29th. This is happening at lap 132, guys.
It looks like just a routine stop with Mark. I'm kind of surprised because his car is definitely off the pace. I thought maybe there was a problem, but it's just fuel and tires. I guess whatever's wrong with that engine, they just can't do anything for it.
Well, this was an important race for him in the point battle. Came in here 3rd. whopping 423 behind Earnhardt coming back out. Hoping for any kind of a break. Nothing's gone his way today. Still Jeff Bodine in that Ford number 7.
He just worked his way by Greg Sachs, put him a lap down, and now he's coming up on Jimmy Spencer and Bill Elliott.
Dick Berggren can update us on that 7 car in the lead.
Well, Ken Squire, he just radioed his crew. He's going to pit in somewhere around 5 or 6 laps, but they are worried about more than fuel and tires here. The engine apparently periodically picks up a skip, and they're not sure why. We told you earlier they had switched batteries. Now they're running with both batteries, and it still periodically picks up a skip. So it's probably not the battery. So I asked the crew chief, Paul Andrews, what's it liable to be? He said, Dick, I don't know. They have got a problem on the 7 car.
One thing about it, Ken, is skipping in the right direction.
And I'm sure,
skipping and jumping.
I'm telling you.
I'm sure they have plenty of batteries in their pit too, with Excite on the side of that race car.
Here's Dick Berggren.
Well, John Andretti is in for his pit stop. This is John Andretti's best day ever in Winston Cup. He's led more races, led more laps today than he had in his entire career up till now. An incredible, incredible day for John Andretti, and only his 3rd ever start at this racetrack.
Car looks great, but it got trapped in the pits and went a lap down, so it's showing in 31st at the present time. But if you're just joining us, John Andretti put the petty colors up on the point and led in the early going for a considerable distance. Well, here's Kenny Wallace another time after it. Kenny Wallace and Waltrip back there in 12th spot. Now this is at lap 136, and that's important because that means we're over 200 miles. Getting close to the halfway mark at 250 in this event. And they come by this time and they've completed 207.
Can you watch the line? Excuse me. Watch the line that these 2 cars are taking. See, Waldrop's running way up high, and Kenny's running the bottom line. I don't know whether the cars are working better that way or whether the age makes a difference. Kenny's young and he doesn't mind hitting that ball hard. Daryl's getting a little age on him. He wants to run close to that wall.
Follow your backwards. 5th place car is in. Michael Waltrip. Another good run yesterday and a great qualifying. Here's Earnhardt on pit road. 2nd place car is in.
Like Michael's car might have just been a hair tight. They took 1 round of wedge out on that green flag pit stop. He was running pretty good anyway.
Terry Labonte brings number 5 onto pit road. He had been 6th, pulled up to 5th. Just a moment, if we saw that Earnhardt car come on. Now they're both in there. Here's the Earnhardt pit stop under green at lap 138. Going for his 7th Winston Cup championship to tie Richard Petty. He's away. Good stop. 18.6. Not a record setter, but darn good. Brett Bodine has pitted. Dale Jarrett, Ricky Rudd. Here's Randy.
Well, Jack Lewis works the front tires for Brett Bodine's. Mike Bumgarner works the rears. They have informed Brett Bodine that rain is imminent. They've taken a round of wedge out of the Quaker State Ford. The jack is up on the left side. A great pit stop for Brett Bodine down and away.
Riding with him. Number 7, Jeff Bodine, now on pit road. Leader is in. Here's Dick.
45-year-old Jeff Bodine looking for his 18th career win today. In for routine stops in terms of tires. They're not going to change the chassis on this car at all, or at least that's the plan, but they are still concerned about that periodic skip that seems to come and go quite mysteriously. No work on the engine. Good stop for Jeff Bodine. 20.4 for Jeff Bodine.
Marlin takes first, and he's just coming out of pit road. This would move Morgan Shepherd, number 21, staying out into the lead. Kenny Wallace would come up to 2nd. Here's the 4 car. For a moment had the lead. Now he's giving it over to Shepherd. Nemechek in the 41, and he has smacked the wall.
That right front tire is down on that car, and there's some body damage also. But I don't see a caution flag. There must not be any debris out there on the racetrack. We're going to keep going green.
Shepherd brings number 21 in, and by our count, that would put Kenny Wallace up for the lead for the moment. Let's take a look at what happened to Nemechek.
Something just flew out from underneath Joe's car. I think he might have already bounced off the wall.
I think he ran over something.
And a little bit of debris come flying out from under it.
Need to look at that picture again.
He wasn't in long. He's back out on the racetrack. This must be for the lead, unless there's still some that haven't pitted yet.
Only one we're unsure of is Kenny Wallace.
It's like Dale Earnhardt's pit stop must have been just a little bit faster than Jeff's, but Jeff's was also a good one.
Grissom has just brought the 29 in, and Spencer is coming in. Take a look, Cale. There's the 41 car.
That's a tire down. There's no
What's
doubt
he run over right there?
Well, something, I don't know. Looks like a rag or a can. Maybe a can.
I don't know. I would say it might be a can.
Maybe.
Now Wallace is in, and that means the battle is again between, or it could mean that 17 has the lead. 17 is the leader.
Darrell Waltrip.
My gosh, he's getting good range out there today. Waltrip and Presley are about the only two that haven't pitted. Here's Kenny in. Robert Yates' team doing a terrific job with him. Had that terrific finish on the short track the other day. Top 5.
4th at Martinsville the other day.
Now Waltrip is in. '54, Robert Presley had the lead for almost a quarter of a lap, and he is now in. So I think that takes care of him. And he stuffs it onto the wall.
He overshot his mark. He came in a little too hard.
There's been a lot of things going on pit road. Ken, I just saw my car, Jeremy Mayfield, got clipped trying to turn into his pits and got bent up a little bit, and it took a long time to get it straightened out, so it kind of messed his day up too.
Jeremy Mayfield is back out, and you saw what just happened here to Presley in the '54. Kyle Petty, I believe, is the last car to come in here and pit. And he's a lap or 2 down, not having a good day at all. Continue to work on '54 and get him back out here. And we can give you some pit times now. These are the pit times that were recorded under these green flag conditions. Gordon at 17.5. Earnhardt with that 18.6.
When this race started, we had rookies running first and second. Now we have 45-year-old Jeff Bodine leading at the halfway point. 43-year-old Dale Earnhardt right behind him in second.
Jeff Bodine is now the leader in car number 7, and Earnhardt is in second. Here's Dick Bergman.
Well, Ken, I haven't seen any blistered Goodyears yet, but here's a Hoosier that just came off the 41 car of Joe Nemechek. You see those little pock marks? Those are blisters. Here is the tire, however, that came off the right front of Nemechek's car. They said they were just about ready to come in for a pit stop, and this thing let go. Boom.
Badly chewed up. Took a piece of the wall. It did not bring out a caution. 3 yellows thus far, 147 laps, 220.5 miles, complete in the Mello Yello 500. Edging toward halfway, 153 laps, 209.5 miles down, with weather becoming the issue, potential showers as you take a look at the current standings through the field here in the Mello Yello 500, and a lead battle building, with Jeff Bodine leading in car 7, Earnhardt in second, and Brett Bodine sticking right with him in the Kenny Bernstein car in third. Dale Jarrett's 4th, Terry Labonte 5th, Marlin 6th, Jeff Gordon 7th, Schrader is 8th, 9th is Rudd, and 10th is Morgan Shepherd. Here's Dick Bergman.
Well, Mark Martin's car is behind the wall, Ken Squire, and the hood is up. He has had a lot of trouble with engines here at Charlotte. In his last 7 attempts at Charlotte, he has lost 4 motors. Believe it or not, they had geared this car this morning to turn 8,800 RPM all day. And believe it or not, that's only about 150 RPM higher than the lowest RPM I found anybody to have all day long. Jack Roush with his head underneath the hood of this car. Steve Meal working on the car. Jack, can you get it fixed?
Well, I've got a cylinder here that's running cold, and we're going to take a look at a spark plug and see what it looks like. We may be able to get back out there. We'll just have to see what we got.
Okay, they're not going to give up.
but they're going laps down, falling back now. The man third in the standings, 6 laps off the pace officially at this hour. There you see the interval, first to second.
And Jeff Bodine earlier had a pretty good lead on Dale Earnhardt, but he come up to Bobby Hamilton and tried to put him a lap down, and Bobby really raced him hard to try to stay on that lead lap in case the caution flag came out. He was unable to hold Jeff off, but it did let Brett and Dale Earnhardt catch up to him.
There's your third place car, Brett Bodine. Having a terrific run here today. Big night coming up on Thursday over in Nashville. Some 15,000 country music and auto racing fans are going to be over there with Mark Cawley, the NCAA recording artist for the diabetes cure, the Nashville Motor Speedway. We've got all kinds of people coming. A lot of the Winston Cup stars, Gant, Allison, going to make an appearance over there on Thursday. Folks over in the Tennessee area might want to drop on by and see some of the country music stars and for a great cause.
There's not very much separating those first 3 cars, but I got to think Jeff Bodine might have a little bit more if he needs it.
Equidistant here, those front 3. Separation just about the same between Bodine, Earnhardt, Brett. And I'm sure they're on the radio checking with the weather as much as they are checking on the track right now, with the potential of a shower coming through and the race coming down to 159 laps. We're at 2:38. We're getting toward that halfway mark. Halfway being critical in Winston Cup racing. That officially puts it in the book. Sure want to have a shot at the lead. They may want to go for it right here. Earnhardt ready to turn the wick up. 18 cars on the lead at the present time. And among them, caution is out. We've got a yellow coming down. Rusty Wallace back in that lead lap in 15th at the present time. To the stripe. Bodine leading. Oil in turns 3 and 4, they're saying. That's just exactly the spot. You don't want oil anyway, but if there's one spot more than any other, you don't want it up there in 3 and 4.
Well, you don't want it anywhere, but no, you run so close to that wall coming off 3 and 4 and drive so deep down into 3, a little bit of oil can really cause a lot of trouble all the way through that turn.
Fourth caution of the day. It's lap 161 where it falls, 241.5 miles. Getting close to that halfway distance in this event. Cloud cover's gotten a little thicker, but no sign of rain here at the present time. Comes in from behind us. We'll cross over this front straightaway and head out across, or oftentimes we see it come up over turns 3 and 4 here on the 1.5 miles.
I think that was a timely caution for Lake Speed in Bud Moore's car too. He was the 18th position, getting pretty close to going down a lap, so that'll let him catch back up and work on his race car and try to get back in the thick of it. And scoring showing Rusty Wallace on the lead lap from his round of pit stops, so I don't know how that happened, but he's right back in it.
Yeah, they've got him up in 15th, back in that lead lap. Here you see the trio out in front, and let's go to Dick Berggren.
Jeff Bodine on his way in. Bodine in pit road said before the start of the race that he had a lot of comfort level in this race car. 3 cars on your screen taking pit stops. Bodine going to do a 4-tire change. Everybody else going to do a 4-tire change. They say the batteries are working fine on the car now. It has not skipped in quite a while. The 26 has gotten out first. That'll put him in the lead. Brett Bodine will be the leader.
He might have left first, but Dale Earnhardt having that number 1 pit at the very end of pit road.
Way down in the end. You could see that one coming.
First one out.
Snuck her right in there, Cale.
Sure did.
Back in front.
That's, you know, a lot of people wonder why you'd like to have that pit down there. And it makes a difference. I think that, you know, shows you right there that you can get on down pit road, and when you drop that jack, you can be gone.
And even when you qualify in the 38th position, when you're the defending Winston Cup champion, you get first pick.
Absolutely.
First pick of the pits.
Towards the halfway distance, 162 of 334 laps complete. Stay with us here in the Mello Yello 500 on TBS. Back with you again at Charlotte. Mello Yello 500 this afternoon. Getting down towards the end of the Winston Cup season. And where is your favorite driver running today? If it's Earnhardt, you've got the lead. If it's Jeff Bodine, you're fighting back there in second spot. And here's Cale Yarborough's favorite driver, car number 98.
Yeah, you can see a little damage on the left-hand side of Jeremy's car on the fingerhood car. He was coming into pits a while ago, as we said earlier, and the 23 car hood Strickland was just going out and ran into the side of Jeremy. And of course, they had to pull the sheet metal off and all, and then they had to come back in after that, so it's put him down 2 laps. That's a shame. He's had a good race going, and he's still having to come in, and they're working on the car to try to get it straightened out.
We thought the rule was that you couldn't drive a Yarborough car unless you came in with the sheet metal a little torn up.
Well, I don't ever say anything about the sheet metal, but somebody else calls that. But they're under the hood now. They got some other problems too.
Jeremy Mayfield.
Cale's never wrinkled any fenders. Ken, what are you talking about?
Never.
I can't complain or get on a driver about wrinkling the fenders. No.
Running 29th. Now Mark Martin is back out again in car number 6. And he's sure having no fun out here today. He's being shown in 35th position, 13 laps down. And there's Mark. That's an unpleasant place to be.
Yeah, it's not what he'd like. He'll just have to do the best he can, salvage the best finish he can by the end of the day.
Coming down 166, 1 lap to halfway at 167 as they take green. Earnhardt first, Jeff Bodine second, Brett Bodine third, Dale Jarrett fourth, Terry Labonte fifth, Sterling Marlin sixth, Rudd is in seventh, Jeff Gordon eighth, Kenny Wallace in 9th, and Schrader is 10th. Nemechek in 11th, Polk in 12th, all in the lead lap.
I think something's happening to Dale Earnhardt. He did not accelerate off the second turn very good. Jeff Bodine went by him, and Mike Wallace, a lap car, went by him.
And here comes Saxon, the 77 down on the bottom.
I don't know if he just got bumped or a little sideways or what happened, but I expected him to pull away from Jeff for a couple of laps with brand new tires, but that's not the case. He's backsliding.
Saxon is a lap down. He's running in 20th. Goes looking for Bodine, trying to get back in that lead lap. Remember, Greg Sachs had a very good start out here today. Was up in the front 5 in the early going. Halfway, so it's official. Got a big shower right now. Got a frog swallower out here. Bodine would be declared the winner. Earnhardt's back in second. That's Bodine right there in third. And look at Dale Jarrett driving a great race for Joe Gibson fourth. Mello Yello 500 fact leader at halfway has won only 8 of the last 34 races.
19 car just got real high in turns 1 and 2. May have even touched the wall, but I don't think it'll bring out a caution. He's straightened it up, still on his way.
It's Loy Allen. And they're back to 3 wide another time, Cale.
They sure are. I'm telling you, I told you that they were going to really run good. This racetrack, you know, when you resurface the whole racetrack, the groove is everywhere. So if you want to run up high, you can run up high. If you want to run in the middle or down low, it doesn't make any difference. And they run in 2 or 3 abreast all day.
Doesn't matter where they go. They get told they can only make it 1 lane. Then you think about what happened at Indianapolis with that great Ernie Irvin, Jeff Gordon squabble. They can't do that all the way around. They did it. Kenny Wallace there in 9th. Driving that Ernie Irvin car today. It's so good to see Ernie Irvin out here early this morning. He's been in and out of the racetrack a lot this week. Gathering some steam, sounding great. This morning over in the media press center in the infield, he went in there for a moment, and the press really appreciates and admires him. When he walked in, every member of the press over there all had an eye patch. It said number 28 on it. He got a big chuckle out of that.
I bet he did.
I bet so.
Here's Gordon down to the inside, fighting from 7th position, the winner here back in May. Let's go back to Wallace for a moment. Take a look at how Rusty's doing. For the moment, Kenny Wallace is doing a lot better than his brother. Kenny Wallace is up in 9th. Rusty is back in 16th, and Michael Wallace is currently a lap down, 19th on the field. Heilig Meyer's car. John Levy. They're supposed to be making some big announcements for the future on that car, that number 9. Mark Martin out of his car. Car number 6. Mark Martin has called it a day.
You know, with Rusty. I'm not sure if it was just a set of tires or not, because it seems like he's having a difficult time working his way back up there, even without that poor set of tires that he had.
Yeah, I think Rusty's got some problems, more than just tires. He's just, you know, it's not the kind of race that you see Rusty Wallace run, especially here. He loves this racetrack and does well here, but he's just not coming on strong right now.
It would be too bad if it wasn't a full performance for some mechanical reason. Daytona and Talladega have treated him so badly. Back up in front another time. There's Earnhardt. There's Brett Bodine. And there is Dale Jarrett in the 18 car in that 4th slot, having a great day. How about Ricky Rudd in 5th? His own team. Good job they've done. With a report on the Earnhardt car, here's Dick Bergman.
Well, for the Earnhardt fans that were concerned that Dale dropped back there on that restart, you don't need to be concerned. I've just talked to Andy Petrie. He said the car is just fine, no problem. But Andy's got a concern. His concern is with that 7 car, Jeff Bodine. He says that guy, he can take off on us anytime he wants. Petrie has figured out that Jeff Bodine can be half a second a lap faster anytime he wants to be. But Jeff Bodine, one sharp cookie, is running that race car just hard enough to stay there. To Ricky Craven. Ricky?
Mark, I know this late in the season, this is a very helpless feeling. Sorry that this is where you ended up. Tell us about it.
Well, something broke in the engine, probably a cylinder wall or something. I didn't know how, I didn't think we were going to run good today, but I tell you what, of course, I didn't run with the 7 car. But of all the cars I was around, this Valvoline car was really awesome through the corners. But the engine started giving trouble from the very start. And I was down on 7 cylinders and could keep the leaders in sight most of the time, even down on 7 because the handling was so good. Really hate it. I feel like we just gave away 3rd in the point standings. You know how that is.
Yeah, you do, Mark. Mark didn't think that he was going to run good today, but everybody else here knew he was going to run good. He's a racer. He'll be back with us at Rockingham.
Fram race story here, folks. Take a look at this as you watch Jeff Bodine. Lap leaders thus far in this event. Ward Burton out in front early. Led. John Andretti took it away. And then Ward Burton, while leading, had a terrible crash. Socked it in the wall. Heartbreaker for the South Boston, Virginia racer. And then it gets back into the old story here. Seen a lot of Earnhardt and Wallace. Seen a lot of Bodine and Earnhardt out here today. Some of those were under caution as people were dropping in. Those green flag stops gave a lot of people a crack at 5 points.
You know, the 2nd place car we see on the screen here is Greg Sachs, and he is 1 lap down, but his car is running awfully well. And he got pretty far behind there on that one long green flag stretch because he was blistering tires, and he was concerned about it, and I think he backed it off a little bit. Now he's trying to get back in that lead lap so he can get right back into the thick of this.
19th at the present time, 1 lap down. He is the first car in that 1 lap down category. Following him in 20th is Mike Wallace now, then Musgrave and Hillen 22nd. There you see Mike Wallace in that 90 car that we were talking about. He is now in 20th. Sandwiched in there is the 12 of Derek Cope. That car's in 11th. Up on the outside is Kenny Wallace.
I think those 3 cars have been racing each other all day long. Now Michael Waltrip's right behind them. He has been up in the 4th and 5th position for a lot of this race. I'm not sure why he got behind, but he's got a good car today.
Schrader and Kenny Wallace. That's for 9th. Derek Cope trying to get a piece of that one too. Michael Waltrip had a very long pit stop, like 31 seconds. And that dropped him out of that lead group.
That explains it.
Sure looks like he's got him running now, though, doesn't it?
I'd say he's going to work his way back up into that top 5, it looks like. But he's got a ways to go. He's fighting back there at 10th, 11th, and 12th.
He's cutting right through them now. The yellow flag actually saved Michael and got him back in the hunt. Remember that caution flag that came out?
Okay.
That 31-second stop. And then there was the yellow flag.
Okay.
And that saved his bacon out here today. Kept him in the lead lap. Usually 31 seconds plus slow down and start up. Your history out here. He got a break on that caution. So Michael Waltrip continues to wind back through the field.
That's some good racing in there, Ken. They're side by side, and you're right. A lot of people.
Position racing out there. Look at Derek Cope having his own squabble with Schrader.
Nobody's letting up. Michael was clear up beside Kenny Wallace on the inside. Kenny just keeps digging out there on that outside, pulls back in front of him. Michael's coming at him again.
This battle's about 7 3/10 seconds back from the leaders. As you watch, Michael Waltrip trying to get back in this thing. Good run. Tries to overtake Bodine, Earnhardt, Bodine up in front. Jeff Bodine still out in front with 191 laps down. We're well past the halfway. There's still a great concern about weather. Yeah, there's concern with Bodine that it doesn't rain soon enough, and with everybody else, there's.
That's
Come on, give us another 50 miles out here. Interval first to second stands a little over 3 seconds, by which Bodine is leading Earnhardt in the Mello Yello 500. Take a look at Jeff Gordon.
They've got Jeff's car working a lot better now, Ken. He's really getting the job done now.
He's pulled up to 5th, dropped Ricky Rudd back to 6th.
And Ricky's coming right up into the thick of it. You know, he's been very impressive this year with his own team. Right up there in the point standing. He's been to victory lane. I'm impressed by Ricky.
Well, he won here in May, won at Indianapolis, and I think he's been so positive for the racing world. I loved what he said after he won Indy. He won, what, $600,000? He said the money doesn't mean anything. So what means something is to have won the first race that we ever ran in Indiana. He said that means everything. Those baseball people look smaller and smaller and smaller. So here's Jeff Gordon up to 5th. With 2 wins under your belt, Jeff, has the pressure to perform increased out here in 1994?
Well, I think now the pressure's off. I think the pressure was to win a race or 2 races or so. You know, we've done that. We've been very consistent this year. I'm real happy with the season that we've had, and I don't feel the pressure. I mean, if it's there, you know, we just try to go out and put pressure on ourselves to go out there and perform and win.
Great battle he's in right now. Here he is closing in on Dale Jarrett for 4th. Just in front of the Brett Bodine. And the tempo picks up a little. Begins to quicken as Gordon puts some punch back in this race. It had stabilized for a while. Not anymore, and it's this 23-year-old kid out of Pittsburgh, Indiana that's going to put the spark back in this one with 195 laps now complete of 334. Let's see what he'll do with Jarrett and with Brett Bodine.
And Dale Earnhardt is just barely outside of that picture. There he is. He's not very far in front of him in the 2nd position.
Take a look at the running order and understand it's more than 3 seconds as Bodine continues to just drive away out here this afternoon, Cale.
He sure got it hooked up, Ken. I'll tell you. He's the Hoosier Tires, you know, can't do all that much. Jeff is just such a good chassis man, and he's got that good team behind him, and he's just got it hooked up. He's getting through these corners better than anybody else, and that's where he's making most of his time.
Well, he's had 12 DNFs this year, but when this car is up there and running, it's a wonderful thing to watch. A look at number 30. Still very much a part of this action.
Rusty's working with his car. He's starting to pick his way by. He got by his brother Kenny, and he got by Lake Speed there, and Joe Nemechek. He's gradually working his way up there.
Up to 13th. Number 2. Rusty Wallace back up to 13th.
12th, Derek Cope right in front of him, and right in front of Derek is Michael Waltrip, 11th position.
Speed 144, about 10 miles under the record. 154 miles an hour, 154.537. That record belonging to the great Ernie Irvan. 3 hours, 14 minutes, 31 seconds. He turned this event, defending champion. Well, here's Derek Cope getting a trunk full of Rusty Wallace. That's for 11th now. Down to the inside as Rusty continues to snarl through the field. Rusty Wallace trying to break back into the top 10. Gets himself 11th position. He goes looking for Michael Waltrip in 10th.
It seems like the other competitors are dropping off a little bit more than Rusty is. I don't think he's blistering fast, but I think he's maintaining what speed he had a little bit better than some of the competition right now.
Well, you got to look at the interval for just a moment there, and Wallace is definitely closing down car number 30, taking a higher line through turns 1 and 2 as he tries to close in and move back to the top 10. Bodine still leads, and now by about 3 3/10 of a second over the second place man. Rusty Wallace is back in the hunt. Are you still running for the championship? Ready to throw in the towel out there, Rusty? What about it?
No, I'm definitely still running for it. I mean, we got 4 races left, and when it gets right down to 1 or 2, then it's going to get tough. But if I can make some ground, some significant ground these next 2 races, I'm probably looking pretty good.
Rockingham, Phoenix, Atlanta finish the year. Wallace and Earnhardt fighting for it. So 202 laps are now by, gentlemen. As we take a look back up front on the field, we're past the 300-mile mark. 303 complete as Jeff Bodine makes mincemeat out of the field in the Mello Yello 500 at Charlotte, North Carolina. Just one name out here right now. It's Bodine. Hoosier Tires Ford car. Exide number 7 is flying, and he's leading by 3. Call it 3 9/10, just about 4 seconds over Dale Earnhardt in second. Take a look at the interval. Back to the black number 3.
Then the interval disappears. Once you get to Dale Earnhardt there,
Yeah.
they're right there.
Look who's into third. Gordon's back in this race. Hendrick Racing, Jeff Gordon looking for Hendrick's 5th win here at Charlotte. And Jeff is the leading Hendrick driver at the present time, with Dale Jarrett right behind him in 4th, Brett Bodine 5th. Ricky Rudd is in 6th, Sterling Marlin 7th, Schrader is 8th, Labonte 9th. Rusty Wallace cracks the top 10. He's back again as well. And Kenny Wallace seems to be fading. Kenny Wallace now back in 16th position, guys. He's been sliding back here over the past several laps.
Yeah, he was staying in there 10th, 11th, and 12th pretty much most of the race, but all of a sudden he's fallen back a considerable distance. So, as a matter of fact, he's going to have to worry about going down a lap before too much longer.
So 2:09 are complete out here today. Race is past the halfway mark. If showers were to come now, Jeff Bodine would be very much in favor of seeing the red and checkers. For the rest of them, they'd like to find a way to get back up there. But Cale made the point. He is such an expert on chassis that when others have trouble with tires, doesn't happen with Jeff Bodine. Here's the 28 car of Kenny Wallace back in 16th, and let's see if we can find out what the story is on that car right now. Down to the pits.
Well, it's hard to tell from here. They're not going to bring him in, but they're saying possible broken valve spring. You see a lot of that at Charlotte with the high revs that these guys run. Mark Martin lost a lot more than that, but they said it's something like that, so it could even be worse for Kenny Wallace before this day is over.
See right behind him the Nemechek car, number 41, and that's where he's running on the track. There's Joe Ruttman, who's had a terrific day. He's a lap down. He's in 25th, but that's been a pretty smooth ride for car number 80. Congratulations to Joe.
Yeah, Joe hadn't been doing a whole lot of racing. You know, he just runs now and then, but he was a great short track racer in his day. He just came along a little late in the Winston Cup Series.
And that team hasn't run a whole lot in Winston Cup either, so that makes it, double the success, I guess.
Going around Travis Carter's car.
Talking about these engine problems we're seeing today, if these teams are trying to pull the same old gear that they're so accustomed to pulling at Charlotte Motor Speedway, that could be part of the problem, because that new asphalt is letting them run at their slowest around a 31-second flat lap. And that's a good full second faster than what the pace usually is here at Charlotte. And that equivalates to RPM and broken parts.
Absolutely. You know, there are a lot of people turning these engines higher today than they have in a long, long time here. But you couldn't. Some of them will go turn these kind of gears, run these kind of gears that you had to turn the kind of RPMs to run. If the front runners do it, everybody else has got to do it too.
Let's check in on where the point leaders are at the present time. Earnhardt in second. Wallace back in 10th. Martin retired 37th on the field. We've had only 4 retirees as opposed to about half the field yesterday. Take a look at this run as Jeff Gordon is going after Earnhardt. Dick Berggren standing by in Jeff Gordon's pit.
Yeah, and they've got the tomahawk bouncing up and down, Ken Squire. When that tomahawk bounces up and down, usually means the car's okay. Have you got her dialed in, Ray?
Well, no, we're still bouncing back and forth. We're a little off balance, but we're getting better and better. Jeff's doing a great job in the car. That kid is a race driver. And these guys here in the pits continue to amaze me. They're making adjustments on the car and still getting it out in good fashion. So we're having a good day. I know Rick's at home. He's not feeling real well, but hopefully we can give him a little something to feel a little better about. I don't know, that 7 car's pretty strong, but we're going to do the best we can.
Remember in the spring when they kept adjusting and got better and better and better and wound up in victory lane?
4 2/10 seconds. They're down right now, this trio, to the leader, Bodine, as he continues to edge away from second, third, and fourth, as the pressure is being exerted by Jeff Gordon, of whom Rick Hendrick once said, "For my future, he's the franchise." 219 laps in the rearview mirror, 328.5 miles. And there are the current standings through the field as Bodine continues to build on his lead of well over 4 seconds from Dale Earnhardt now. And he's about to get a snoot full of Gordon and Jarrett, Brett Bodine all in there. But there's the man they're all talking about. And take a look as we watch this battle a little further back between Earnhardt, Gordon. That's a little bit of a distance. Now she's driving away. And the 24, Jeff Gordon, flies, picks up Earnhardt.
Earnhardt comes right back on the inside, his famous classic move.
For second place, even across. A couple of Chevys going at it.
I tell you, Dale Jarrett's car is working well too,
isn't it?
He's right in there, and he is really working good.
Earnhardt slides up. They want to get around the lap car of Loy Allen. And Bodine is back on pit road. Leader is in. This is lap 222. As Jeff Bodine eases down to pit road, and here's Randy.
Crew Chief Paul Andrews looks over his crew as Jeff Bodine brings the car to a stop. He said the car was getting a little tight at the end of that run. Shane Parsnow on the right front, Ed Leslie on the rear. The jack is Tom Mount. He's already around to the left side, underneath the X-side Ford. Left side tires coming off. Pretty good pit stop so far. 4 Hoosiers bolted on. Right rear done, and Jeff is down and away.
Wallace is also in, 19.6 on Bodine. Grabs a fistful of gear and gets her going. Earnhardt coming in car number 3. Jeff Gordon stays out. He takes the lead. Lap 222. Here's Dick Burton.
Well, Earnhardt is entering his pit stop, and he slides to a stop. A little bit of the tape that they put on the nose of this car to try to fix it from the earlier crash is starting to flop around now. Andy Petrie, crew chief on the right front. There's David Smith with the jack. Darting it around to the other side. Pump and a half by David Smith to get the car up. Earnhardt has dodged a bunch of bullets this summer, and this may be another one. He is running great despite that early crash.
Earnhardt out. Rusty Wallace is pitted. Terry Labonte, Ricky Rudd, Mike Wallace. And the 18 car is in. Jarrett. Andretti is in. Brett Bodine, Kyle Petty, Dick Trickle. All on pit road this lap 224. leader on pit road, Jeff Gordon. The DuPont car, Jeff Gordon coming in. Chevy leading. This will put Sterling Marlin into first place.
Looks like Jeff Bodine's pit stop was every bit as good as Dale Earnhardt's because he has every bit of lead that he had before the stops.
Here's Dick Burton.
Well, that was a hard stopper. As Gordon came in, he almost clobbered Kenny Schrader. There was a tire that rolled across. He is a little bit over his pit line. He's stuck outside the pit. NASCAR officials standing there. They're apparently not going to do anything about it. He really had some problems just trying to get that car in. But so far, at least, despite those troubles, it is a nice, clean pit stop for Jeff Gordon.
And slow, 23-1. Back out.
That getting crooked in the pit stall like that just kind of throws off the whole orchestra. And it translates to losing a couple of seconds on the pit stop.
Rick Masterman running 18th is pitted. He's back out. Sterling Marlin, who for a moment had the lead, is on pit road. Greg Sachs is in as well. Harry Gant has made his pit stop. Wholesale changes here, folks. All around 225. Second stop in a row under total green condition. Here's Morgan Shepherd coming in, and for a moment, he had a fistful of the lead. October the 23rd, Rockingham, North Carolina. Next, Winston Cup event. October the 30th, Phoenix, Arizona. That beautiful track with Buddy Jobs out in the desert. And then November the 13th, back to Atlanta to finish the 1994 Winston Cup season. Wood Brothers getting Morgan out in 21.6. Mayfield is in car number 98. We'll talk to Cale after that. Got his watch on. How'd he do?
Not average.
That's not what we wanted.
Could have been a little better.
Waltrip in 17 inherits the lead. 228. 228 down, 342 miles. Just behind him, you see the 5, Terry Labonte. He's pitted. Marlin's just there as well. He's been on pit road. So if it gets to be a fuel contest, foxy old Darrell Waltrip's back in this thing, Cale.
Yeah, Darrell always, for some reason, gets mighty good gas mileage, and I don't know. I doubt if it comes down to a fuel thing today. It's a little bit too early to tell yet, anyway. But if it does, Darrell will be right in the hunt with it. I guarantee you.
If he puts gas in his water bottle, there's 3 around 18. That's for position.
The 18 was ahead of him after the round of green flag pit stop, so Dale Jarrett must have had a very good pit stop. There's Brett Bodine right with him. Those 3 were together before the green flag pit stops, but Jeff Gordon's got a ways to catch up to him. He had a slow pit stop.
Let's establish the field for you again. The cars that you're watching, Earnhardt is 4th, Jarrett is 5th, and Bodine is 6th. The leader is Waltrip, and Kenny Wallace, who also is out of sync, has come to 2nd. Jeff Bodine 3rd, and now Waltrip, the leader, is pitting. Here's the 17 in, and he pits way up at the top end of the pits. One of the very first pit areas is where he elected to bring that 17 to today.
Kenny Wallace is dropping off the pace on the racetrack, entering pit road right now as well.
So with Wallace in, that'll put Bodine back in the lead. Earnhardt to 2nd, Dale Jarrett to 3rd, Brett Bodine to 4th, Rusty Wallace to 5th, and Jeff Gordon to 6th. 20.3, pretty good stop, and here's Kenny Wallace bringing the Robert Yates car in. Green flag stops for the 2nd time. 2:31 is the lap we're on. 346.5 of the 500 miles in the Mello Yello 500 have been completed here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Welcome back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Mello Yello 500 today on TBS. Great to have you with us as we get these views of this speedway from our Advanced Auto Parts aerial platform today. In the second third of this event, and so far it's been pretty much all Jeff Bodine. I want to introduce you to an old friend, Jimmy Hensley from Ridgeway, Virginia, NASCAR's equivalent of a top-flight backup quarterback. First of all, what put you out today?
Looked like we cut our right front tire down. We were struggling, was pushing a little bit anyway with the feeling Lance forward, but you know, it's going to work that out, and just never really got the opportunity.
You stepped in this weekend for Randy LaJoie, who took a hard hit here. Do you stand along pit road with a clipboard under your arm, or do you put a help wanted ad in Winston Cup seat?
Well, you know, I really came to Charlotte just, you know, trying to be seen, you know, just stay in touch. And, you know, unfortunately for Randy, you know, he did hit real hard Thursday, and I was able to fill in for him in the Grand National car. And I was going to fill in for him today. You know, we just didn't have too good a day today.
Well, you're the best at this, coming in on little preparation and making the car run real well. Let's take a look at some of the guys who are out here right now. Dale Earnhardt, Brett Bodine battling toward the front of the pack. Think Earnhardt might have a shot at this thing today?
Well, he's running real well right now. You look like Bodine's running good too, so you know, he's out in front, but we'll have to wait and see.
Tough to track down, Jeff. Jimmy Hensley, good luck. Hope you land something soon.
Okay, thank you.
Take a look at those pit times from these last green flag stops. Earnhardt with that 18.6. Bodine with a 19.6. You'd think it'd make a big difference. Here's what's happening on the track. Interval between first and second is now almost 8 seconds. Jeff Bodine is really hitched up unless that car goes away. Unless somebody has a little Merlin magic in their back pocket. He looks to be one that is going to be hard to cover. Now, Earnhardt has been fighting with Brett Bodine. Brett got by him. Earnhardt ran him down, shot him down on the main straightaway, moved back around, took second spot. Brett stays third. But one of the biggest stories for the moment is just behind this pair. That's where Rusty Wallace is in fourth. And take a look a little further back. This is for 8th spot. Schrader is in 8th in car 25, and Ricky Rudd is right there as they lap Harry Gant. Number 82, when nobody lapped Harry Gant. The Hal Needham, Burt Reynolds car winning its first Super Speedway event right here in Charlotte, where Harry's running his last event on this 1.5 miles. So the battle continues. Bodine is the man to beat, and you're riding with him right now at 180 plus in the main straightaway at Charlotte. 245 laps, 367.5 miles down here in the Mello Yello 500. There are the current standings on the field. You're riding with Jeremy Mayfield back in the field, and it's one of the things that makes Winston Cup racing so great. He's back there in 28th position in that Finger Hut Cale Yarborough car. 3 laps down, still trucking, still out here, giving it everything he's got today, trying to bring this one home. Scooping in a little air as he comes by, Cale.
Yeah, it must be awful hot in there. You know, it's a little bit humid out there today, and they just need all the air they can get, so I guess it's getting a little warm.
140?
Oh, yeah, 140 or better.
How hot did you ever get in a race car?
Too hot. It was awful hot. You know, in the middle of the summertime, never really carried thermometers in the car, but it got awful hot many times.
It's getting hot. It's getting torrid right now for second spot. Look at Wallace. He has kept on with the keeping up, and Rusty Wallace has gone back into second place. He may be as quick. We need to put some clocks on and to see if he is turning individual laps as fast as Jeff Bodine up in front. But Rusty Wallace, who was on the canvas, has picked himself up, and he's come back into this thing. Caution is out. We have a yellow for the 5th time this afternoon in the Mello Yello 500. And again, they're calling it debris. Here's Dick Trickle up in turn 3 is where the problem is. Here comes Bodine, the big leader thus far. This will put them back together. What a break for Wallace.
Dick Trickle is really trying to get that lap back. Dick's right now in the 16th position. First car 1 lap down.
There it is. Back straightaway.
More pieces of tire, it looks like.
Boy, somebody's missing something they need out there. It may have been off Loy Allen's car. He was chunking a tire. It could be the Hooters car, Loy Allen, that's been in trouble. So caution is on. This will give them all a chance to get in at lap 248. I don't think they can. That's 372. No way they can get home from there, is there, Cale?
I don't think so. No,
even Darrell Waltrip have a little trouble. And Harry Gant on those great days.
Yeah.
He used to make those economy runs.
Absolutely.
You know, I question you ever getting too hot in a race car, Cale. You used to wrestle alligators. What's a little heat?
That got hot too, but you know.
Did you really wrestle an alligator?
Oh yeah, you know, I was born and raised down in South Carolina, and we got alligators down there.
Yeah, but why would you want to wrestle an alligator?
Why not?
I don't know. What did it pay?
All right, front of the field is coming in. Jeff Bodine is in first, and Rusty Wallace is in second, and they're on pit road. We'll give you a triple split so you can see them. There are your top three at the present time, Bodine, Wallace, and Jarrett.
I don't see a chassis adjustment on any of those cars. The drivers must like him right now.
Great stop.
Jeff Bodine's going to win the race out.
Here's Earnhardt just coming out. Bodine's out first. Wallace is second. I hope we can get a word with Buddy Parrott, because what a job that crew has done to get him back. Remember, he had a bad set of tires that threw him off, but he's back. We've got ourselves a race in the Mello Yello 500 here at the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're back 251 laps now, down to the 334, and there you see the struggle. Bodine and Wallace now up in front, and Earnhardt looking up from 6th position with Brett Bodine, Jeff Gordon, Dale Jarrett sandwiched in between. Schrader just outside in 7th, Terry Labonte in 8th. We're showing 15 cars in the lead lap at lap 251. Jeff Bodine, he's been a monster out here today. We'll take another break so we can follow the action when we come back, folks. But I think we can get a report before we go there from Rick Benjamin. Rick, you all set?
Ken, we are here in the SDP Pit Communication Center. Time to tell you about the Auto Week Week in Racing. It's brought to you by Auto Week, America's only enthusiast weekly. If you're with us yesterday on TBS, you saw the Busch Grand National cars run 300 miles yesterday in the All-Pro Auto Parts Bumper-to-Bumper 300. We're going to show you some highlights now off the green. Joe Nemechek in the blue car on the outside, and Mark Martin led the field down into turn 1. Nemechek and Martin put on quite a battle for the first 50 or 60 laps. This down the back straightaway into turn 3. Nemechek had the lead for a while. Then they were joined. Michael Waltrip moving up with Martin to get into that battle. Terry Labonte into it too. Here's a bad wreck late in the race. Larry Pearson of the 92. Phil Parsons, who won here in the spring. They tangled with about 20 laps to go. The race ended under caution. Terry Labonte, the winner yesterday, in his MW Windows car number 14. Michael Andretti ready to move into Dad's seat next year, but Mario Andretti taking his final ride in an IndyCar today at Laguna Seca as the CART IndyCar Tour winds down its season today. Here's the way they qualified yesterday. Paul Tracy in one of the Penske cars on the pole with Jacques Villeneuve, who's won once in his rookie year, and Nigel Mansell in his final IndyCar run for now. He'll start 3rd. Mario will start 12th, his 408th career start. He's won 52 times, and he will try to make it 53 to close out his career. Auto Week with a special offer for NASCAR fans. Here's the number to call, 1-800-851-2600, $17.95 for an entire year of Auto Week. Call them now. It's only good through Monday night. That's the Auto Week Week in Racing. When we come back to Charlotte, hopefully we'll be able to put this under green for you. Jeff Bodine's your leader.
We're back at lap 258, 387 miles under green. Rusty Wallace on the restart had asked Jeff Bodine, he says, hey, let me lead for a lap so I can get 5 points. Well, he went out and got the lap, then he led for 2 laps, maybe 3, and now look where he is. Engine expires coming down the main straightaway. Watch right here. Black car, 3rd one back in your picture. Little plume of smoke. Good night, nurse.
That's too bad. That's all it takes, just a little puff of smoke like that. In his terminal, he's behind the wall.
And in the garage.
And Sterling Marlin has joined him. He's been in the lead lap all day, having a decent run. And he just drove his behind the wall, so I'm assuming engine trouble there as well.
The press flocking down there to Wallace as they assume that the championship is pretty much decided right here for the 7th season. It will be Earnhardt. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon is fighting with him. This is for 3rd spot. It's Jeff Bodine in the lead. Brett Bodine is in 2nd. And this is the 3rd place squabble. Earnhardt in front, roosting right on the rear bumper. It's Jeff Gordon, Dale Jarrett with him. A bad day for Rusty Wallace. The 1.5 miles, Charlotte Motor Speedway. He has retired before lap 260.
All 3 Rick Hendrick cars are still right in the thick of this one. They're all right there with Jeff Gordon.
Schrader's up to 6. Let's go to Randy quickly. Sorry.
Well, they're trying to speculate as to what the problem is. Rusty Wallace sits in the car patiently. They thought possibly broken distributor or a timing change. They are definitely going to remove the distributor on the Miller Genuine Draft Ford. They got about 6 guys at least working under the hood right now. The question is right now, is this the end of the championship if Rusty Wallace loses a bunch of points here right now, which is exactly what he's doing in the garage here. It'll take him a while to fix this one, guys.
Came in with a 200-point deficit, and Earnhardt continues to stay out there. Schrader making a great move. Ken Schrader climbing up through with car 25 into 4th position. Jarrett is 5th. Terry Labonte 6th. Gordon back to 7th. And maybe sliding back another spot. There's a car pulling in between them as they come down. It's 12. Getting up in there, giving them a war. Bobby Allison car. Rusty Wallace out of his car, looking it over. It could be the season right there. $1 million bonus.
Well, Dale could go on and finish this race in the top 5 somewhere, like he's running 3rd right now. Even if Rusty were able to get it going again and get back out there, he's not even looking at the top 30. So if Dale could just hang on and finish, he'll be able to cruise on home. Number 7.
Terry Labonte giving us some pretty exciting pictures there.
Well, as Chuck said a while ago, Ken, you know, if it wasn't for that 7 car, this would be one heck of a race. These guys are really battling in there.
Down the main straightaway on the inside. It's Jarrett on the outside. It's Schrader. That's all for 4th. Earnhardt's in 3rd. Bodine. Let's go to Randy.
Well, Rusty Wallace is walking out of the garage area right now, man. Media all over him. Rusty, I know it's tough for you. Is that it for the championship?
No, it's not it. We got 3 to go. If he breaks next week, and I'm going to tell, it's like I said, I'm going to take it right to the living end, man. I don't quit, you know. It's easy for everybody to say that, but, you know, had them smoked off again today, you know, but just didn't make it. You know, I got to get consistent finish. Just outrunning them doesn't do the trick.
Has to be frustrating.
Yeah, it does. It's been a long season, and coming down to the end like that, I've been there. I know all about it. So.
Got to keep your war face on, though.
Oh, you got to do it. Yeah, and I respect him for that. He hasn't given up yet. He's going to fight it right down to the end.
Yeah, he'll try to win the last 3 races if there's no possible way he can win the championship. He won't let up.
That's what champions are made of.
That's right.
Earnhardt has to run 25th in each of those last 3 races, win that 7th title. So Bodine brothers, who didn't get along too well earlier this year, snuggling up for 1st and 2nd here in the Mello Yello 500. Bodine's 1st and 2nd, Earnhardt's 3rd, and look at the 12 and 17 out here, further back for 10th spot. Derek Cope and Darrell Waltrip duking it out, and Jeff Gordon, as you noticed there, had slipped back. He is backed up to 13th spot, and something seems amiss on Jeff Gordon's car. It was running so well. With Cale Yarborough and Chuck Brown, I'm Ken Squire topside. In the pits today, Randy Pemberton, Dick Bergen, and we're glad to have Ricky Craven with us, who we'll see in Winston Cup racing next year, and Rick Benjamin at the STP Pit Center. 500 miles of Winston Cup racing today, and there's the guy who ignited this race about 40 laps ago, put on a great run, but apparently they've run out of something on car 24. Here's Dick Berggren that can tell us more.
Ray, what's wrong? I wish I could answer that, Dick. You know, you work hard, you do whatever. You know, all we did was change 4 tires on that car and put gas in it. That's all we did to it, and it went from leading the race to being junk. So I wish I could answer that. I don't know. I really don't know.
Well,
any speculation?
Well, we saw Rusty Wallace experience a similar thing early in the race. Maybe there are some sets of tires out there that just aren't getting the job done. Just have to hope for a caution where he can come in and get him another set and try to get back up into the thick of it.
These folks are 10 seconds down from the leader, Jeff Bodine. It's some effort that Bodine is putting out here today, and some performance that continues to have him out in front. Let's take a look at 8th place for a moment. There you see Ricky Rudd and Michael Waltrip right with him, trying to get around Dick Trickle.
Dick Trickle's had a good run all day long, but he did get caught one lap down in that long green flag stretch. He's just as fast as these guys, but unfortunately he is one lap down from them.
You miss it, Cale?
Oh, I miss it, especially on Sunday. It's you know, I did it 33 years, Ken. That's a long time, but I love this sport and I love the people that's involved in it, and I'm just, you know, fortunate to still be involved in it as a co-owner.
276 complete. Three-time national champion Cale Yarborough, who won here at Charlotte in this race 3 times and won his last Winston Cup event right here, 1985. Who would have thunk it? You know, you're right up in there with all those other guys. You know, you talk about Richard Petty with 200 and David Pearson, you, that kid named Walter. Remember what a problem he used to be?
Some of those guys ran a lot more races than I did too, so I was very fortunate to be able to be there.
Averaging 147 miles an hour. Jeff Bodine with, checking our caution periods. How many caution periods are we showing up there? 5 to date. 5 caution periods, 28 laps. It's this car, number 7 Bodine, that's showing the way. Michael Waltrip caught a tire down. It's taken him out of the lead lap. He's on pit road briefly. So 266 races, and he's still looking for that first win. And what a story here. Kyle Petty, Mello Yello, not to be on that car anymore. They made the announcement this week that they're concluding at the end of this season their sponsorship, which everybody thought was a 3-year deal. And apparently Felix Sabetis, the car owner, is going somewhere else, and so are they. Kyle Petty today has not had a good day in this car 42. He's running many laps down in 34th position at the present time. That was a bit of a shock, Cale.
Well, it sure was. You know, we'd heard that was more than a 3-year deal, really, about a 5-year deal, I think. But I don't know what's going on there. But, you know, Kyle's really having a tough time. He's struggling. He's been sick for a couple of weeks, and that makes it tough. But he's had a hard road today, I'll tell you.
Let's go back up with the leaders another time. Here's Bodine. Interval between first and seconds, now 2 7/10, and that's closer. A little further apart between first and second. He's got a couple of tenths he's picked up in the last 5 laps on his brother. A couple of Fords running first and second. Chevrolet, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then a Ford of Morgan Shepherd in 7th. Now here's your interval, folks. There's Jeff Bodine out in front in the green car about to show up. That's Brett Bodine, the little brother, in 2nd spot. And Randy Pemberton can update the story on the 7 car right now.
Well, guys, with 50 laps to go, there are looks of concern on Jeff Bodine's pit crew, and that's because he has just radioed and he's going to pit right now. He said something has gone wrong with this engine. The oil pressure has gone way down. The car is beginning to smoke. Water temperature is up.
He's
Paul
coming
Andrews,
in.
the entire crew is ready and poised on this wall. They have a big water cooler here, getting ready to spray down the front grille. While he's in, they're going to go ahead and change at least right side tires.
Brett Bodine is taking the lead. Jeff Bodine on pit road. Earnhardt coming to 2nd. Dale Jarrett comes up to 3rd. Let's go back to the pits.
Well, they have not gone under the hood as of yet. No water. They're looking at, they've got a coupler going in right in front of the windshield. That is a quick coupler that they can put in some clean, fresh water, trying to cool this engine down. Go ahead and change the left rears. They are not sure if this car can go the final 50. Car is off the jack and he's down and away, but a very slow pit stop for Jeff Bodine.
25.6, and that's at lap 286. He led 212 laps. That does not look good as it comes back out, Caleb.
He's history, Ken. When you see that, when you see smoke come out from an engine, it's not going to heal itself. You can bet on that. He's got problems, but he ran one heck of a race today.
So you've got a new leader here. It's Brett Bodine now in front. Brett Bodine looking for his 2nd Winston Cup win, with Earnhardt 2nd, Dale Jarrett 3rd, Terry Labonte in 4th. It's down to show and tell here at Charlotte, and we're building for another exciting Winston Cup finale to a 500-mile race. Brett Bodine has the advantage. His brother has been in. We'll give you the update on that car in just a moment as it's back out here. But it looks like Jeff is staggering now after a tremendous 212 lap performance in the lead. After covering the field for the majority of the laps, Jeff Bodine becomes a DNF, did not finish for the 13th time in 1994. We're at lap 294 of 334. Take a look again at Jeff Bodine's hopes expiring.
That's really too bad. I feel for Jeff. He flat did the job today. And you know, in the second half of 94, we've seen that number 7 car do what it did today many times. He's been the guy to beat lately.
So now it's Brett Bodine's race to win. The race falls back into his hands. Dale Earnhardt is second, and then for third, it's Schrader and Jarrett continuing to squabble. Terry Labonte in that mix as well. The interval really shrinks, a little under a second now between first and second. Terry Labonte right at third is Schrader. Labonte is in there and Jarrett. They're all tied in together, and you see Earnhardt right there as well. So Brett Bodine has the advantage, but it's not much as we get down into the final moments. That's second and third.
Any one of those first 6 cars could, or 7 cars could pull this off today with the right circumstances. One more pit stop coming up.
Schrader going for second. And just coming into the picture. Come down the main. There's the interval. First, back to second and third. Terry Labonte. Been running so well recently in a Rick Hendrick car. Schrader tries the outside now as the Hendrick stable with cars in fourth and fifth begin to turn the wick up.
He's going to do it.
Yeah, he smoked right by him all at once straightaway. Made it look easy.
Let's go to Randy Pemberton standing by with Jeff Bodine.
Jeff Bodine, obviously hot out there. You had a hot car today, had him covered, it didn't last.
I had him covered. Now we've leaking water or something. The engine overheated. That's a shame. Everything was working so good. Car was driving great. Tires were great. Chassis set up. The pit crew. You know, we've had some good runs, and I'm not complaining about this one. Everybody at Exide. Sorry we didn't win, but we're trying. We're gonna have more races left this year. We'll have good races. LA West Vans, Napa, Auto Express. Hey guys, hang with us. This is a great team. I tell you, we've shown it in the last month or 2 months. I'm proud of these guys, and a little problem like today, that's nothing. You know, we'll come back.
Okay, it's left now up to your brother.
Yeah. Hey, hope you win, Brett.
Really? I think he does. I think Mom had a word to those 2 boys. There's your interval. And coming onto pit road is the leader, Brett Bodine. Back in another time, this at lap 300.
This should be the final pit stop if we don't have any cautions between now and the end of the race. They're very crucial, these stops right here. And Kenny Schrader's car is really coming to him right now. He had run Brett down just before Brett made an entrance onto pit road.
One victory for Brett in his career. His best finish this year was that second up at Indy. Qualified 8th for the day's race. Good stop out in 18 and a half. Schrader inherits first place. Earnhardt to second. Labonte to third. Jarrett up to fourth. Shepard into fifth. This is now the
second
battle.
place. Second, third, and fourth. Earnhardt, Terry Labonte, and Dale Jarrett.
Terry Labonte had that great fight yesterday with Mark Martin most of the way. Joe Ruttman is pitted back out. Loy Allen. Jeremy Mayfield on pit road. Ken Schrader out here with the lead at the present time. Ken Schrader, just how tough is this guy Earnhardt out there in that car number 3? There's your man Schrader. And there's that second place man, Dale Earnhardt. So the question always to everyone is the same question. How tough is the man in black, Dale Earnhardt?
Earnhardt's tough. I mean, he's always tough. He just got to start holding his breath a little more when he qualifies. But you know, he intimidates enough of the guys, and he runs good enough, and he'll get up through there pretty quick.
Up through there he did twice today. If you're just joining us, he qualified 38, battled his way up through, got a ripple in the nose when 2 other cars were destroyed, went back to 39th, came up, went for the lead. Now he's back to 2nd place. This time it's Schrader first, Earnhardt 2nd, Jarrett 3rd, Labonte in 4th. And it's a great show here in the Mello Yello 500, and we're down to the finish. Ken Schrader is 3 1/10 of a second in front of this battle for 2nd spot. Earnhardt, for the moment, has it. Jarrett came up to challenge. Labonte got into it. Morgan Shepherd's there, 4 of them. Sawing on those steering wheels as we get down to lap 308 of 334 in the Mello Yello 500 here on TBS. And now Earnhardt pits. With him comes Terry Labonte. Schrader stays out. It's been 104 races since Ken Schrader has tasted victory. It could come today. Last win, Dover, Delaware, 1991. On to pit road. This is Terry Labonte, and here's Randy.
Brian Griffin on the right front and Brian Robertson on the right rear. 2 tires, he almost runs over the air hose. Terry Labonte down and away. Is it a penalty? I don't think so.
I think it might be. He definitely ran over the air hose. This could be a bad break for Terry.
Earnhardt out. 2 of the leaders. Schrader stays first. This moves Jarrett up to 2nd, Shepherd to 3rd. Look at this 2nd place battle. Morgan Shepherd wheels down the inside and put the Wood brothers back up in there again. Derek Cope brings the Bobby Allison car onto pit road, number 12. Onto pit road, Jarrett.
The Ricky Rudd machine only took 2 tires also, as did Dale Earnhardt. It looks like that'll be the protocol, even though Brett Bodine stopped earlier and took all 4.
Randy?
Well, Dale Jarrett is in. They're going to go with 2 tires and a full load of fuel as well. Gary Bumgarner, the catch can man, gas man Rodney Pickler. They're done with the right side. There goes Dale.
Nice stop. 9-9. Here comes the leader. Ken Schrader coming down pit road. Rick Hendrick cars have won here before. Jeff won in May. Waltrip won for him in 88 and 89. Schrader won here in 89 in this 500. Eases the car into the pits. Dick Burton.
It has been so long since Kenny Schrader has won a race, not since June of 1991. Ken Howes, his crew chief, said, it's the decision. It is the decision that is important. They have decided, almost ran over his right front tire, man. Wow. Schrader, 2 tires and a big puff of relief from Steve Crow, the right front tire guy. He almost got tossed in a Never Never Land on that one.
Morgan Shepherd on pit road. Wood brothers at work.
They're going fuel only no tires.
Fuel only, no tires, yeah.
6.5. This is at lap 313.
You know, these drivers are so used to 4-tire stops, and when they do a 4-tire stop, they don't have to wait for an air hose man to run around in front of him. He's already on the left side, so looked like Terry and Kenny Schrader both did that.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Working lap 314, 471 miles complete. They come around this time. The battle's on to decide the 500 this afternoon. Well, there's all kinds of ways to get over the fence to see the races at Charlotte, but that's a new wrinkle. Darrell Waltrip has been leading for a few moments. He's just had to pit. He was the last of that front group to come on to pit road. There are 10 cars running in the lead lap. No tires for him, and as DW comes back out, this is going to put Morgan Shepherd into the lead with that very short pit stop when he did not take on fuel, or rather did not take on tires. First to second is 1 8/10. 1 and 8. There's your leader, 21 Shepherd. Then there's a scramble going on right behind him by 1 and 8. Jarrett, Schrader, Earnhardt, Labonte. Let's go to Rick Craven for an update down in the garage area. Rick?
Yes, as we understand it, Ward Burton had quite a crash over in turn 2, I believe, and they've transferred him to the medical center, nearest medical center, for 24 hours of observation. the Hardy's team, you know, everybody involved with Ward, they're not going to take any chances, want him to be healthy. It looks like everything will be fine, but they want him back healthy for Rockingham.
Well, we also have good news about Paige Jones, Ricky. We understand that Paige is better. He was injured in a sprint car accident in the Midwest, and that's good news. You're looking forward to next year, Winston Cup ride, full season?
You know, we can't talk about that. I really am. You know, I'm so excited about moving up to the next level, and I've told the people that we're negotiating with and that we're discussing our future with that they've really helped me in this Busch Grand National points deal. I'm so excited about next year. I haven't even thought about Busch Grand National points.
All right, let's get back. Thanks, Rick, and good job today. Rick Craven from New England. One of those damn Yankees, Cale.
Yeah,
Pretty good
they
one.
keep coming, though.
Here's Ricky Rudd having a struggle going on with Jeff Gordon back there, 7th position. They're in the lead lap. Take a look at the rundown through the field. You see the laps trickling away here now. We're down to those final moments. The question is, did they gamble correctly?
You know, this is going to be, we're talking about 11 laps to go, and they're reeling Morgan in, but do they have enough time? It's really going to be close.
1 2/10 of a second, so they've taken, what, 6/10 of a second off in the last 4 laps.
It looks like it's going to come right to the wire because Morgan did gain several seconds on the pit stop, but he doesn't have the new right side tire like Dale Jarrett does, and you can bet Dale Jarrett's hungry. But so's Morgan.
Giving you this full field rundown as you watch Rudd versus Gordon. That's a good race.
There's been a lot of good races out here today, Ken. There's been races around, all the way around the racetrack all day.
10 to go, and they come by this time. Still even. 7th place. Gordon moves in on him a little. Rudd fades up the track. Ooh, comes right up underneath him. Puts it right to him down the main straightaway. How about gets him sideways?
He sure did.
Oh, look out. That's for the wall. Ricky Rudd and Jeff Gordon into it hard. Caution. 10 to go. They're out of it. Shepard, they may get a lap in here.
Well, they
goes
will.
Under caution. Shepard in front, Jarrett in second, Schrader third, Earnhardt fourth, Labonte and Brett Bodine. Boy, you could see that one coming as they came off the corner. Look at Ricky Rudd's number 10.
They were against each other all the way down the front straightaway. You were calling it live. It was good stuff there, Ken.
Let's show you the original bump, then we'll show you the wreck. There's Gordon fading up. Bing. Main straightaway. Ricky Rudd underneath him. And that turns him. Catches the front end of Rudd. Ooh.
The only problem is Ricky went with him.
That's right.
9 times out of 10, that's what happens.
If you're going to get upset and touch him a little bit, you don't want to go with him. But sometimes it happens. That's just part of racing.
Here's Dick Bergman.
Well, Ray Evernham, you got a good look at that. What did it look like to you?
I really thought something on our car broke as hard as Ricky was hitting him. I mean, I haven't heard the story. Jeff was screaming before he hit the wall that Ricky wrecked him. And the 10 car was pushing our car right down here. I mean, thank God they're both all right, but I mean, I don't know what happened. Maybe Ricky's throttle stuck or something. I don't know, but they need to have a look at it.
And I'm sure they will.
Okay, we have Dale Earnhardt and Terry Labonte both coming down pit road with just a few laps left.
They rest between 1 and 2 right at the apex of that first and second turn area. You see it from there. Ricky Rudd's car against the outside wall. Jeff Gordon down on the bottom. Shepard in first, Jarrett in second, Schrader in third, Earnhardt in fourth, Labonte in fifth, Brett Bodine in sixth. Lake Speed in the lead lap in 7th. Derek Cope is in 8th. Darrell Waltrip and Michael Waltrip round out the top 10. 10 cars in the lead lap to decide this one. They'll try to get it going again for a lap or two. It will be a 10-car sprint to the finish at the end of 500 miles. Don't go away. .327 of 334 laps complete. There you see the Jeff Gordon car coming in on the hook. The 10 car still up in the top. This is where it began, up and forward.
They just touched ever so slightly with Jeff on the inside.
Now they're coming down the main straightaway.
Little 180-mile-an-hour bumper tag. Jeff's car stays pretty straight, but finally it just loses control, breaks traction, and around it goes. Yeah,
Just
Ricky
catches
tries
the
to,
10.
Yeah, Ricky tries to slide by on the inside, gets collected too.
Both drivers out of their cars walked away. Wondered if they were both in the same rescue wagon going to the hospital, Cale.
If they were, I bet they weren't speaking. Or if they were speaking loud.
Gee, I remember an event like that in Daytona, 1979.
I remember it well.
We can get an update on the cars 5 and 3. Randy Pemberton standing by with that.
Well, they both came in and put 4 fresh tires on. The question is, do they have enough time to run them down when they go green? Now, here's the deal. They will line up single file. It looks to me like Earnhardt will be 6th with 4 fresh tires and Labonte 7th. The other guys, 2 rights for Dale Jarrett and Morgan Shepherd with none. I don't think they can hold off. It all depends on how many laps. Cale, what do you guys think?
It's going to be 2 laps to go, you think?
Who knows? I mean, I'm looking up here at this 10 car.
334 make it up, but they are having a little trouble getting the 10 car off the wall.
Yeah, they're bringing him down now.
I think at the time those guys made that decision to come down pit road and get 4 new tires, it was a good idea, but this yellow's been a little bit longer than everybody anticipated with that 10 car being stuck up at the top of 1 and 2.
Ricky Craven has something for us.
Yeah, I'm here with Ricky Rudd. Things got a little close there, Ricky. Only 10, 15 laps to go. Shame you couldn't get there to the end.
Yeah, it'd been nice to finish the race. Jeff was coming on. He's trying to get by me, tried 2 or 3 laps, and finally when he got by me, he run me up in the fence, crowded me pretty hard. We raced down the front straightaway, bumped a little bit, but I guess Jeff got a little loose in the side and turned sideways in the tri-oval and came back across and got into both of us.
With that many laps under their belts, the cars get hot and the tires get hot and the drivers get a little hot and get a little tired, and get that close to the end, things get a little confusing.
Yeah, I think things got a little hot.
And a little confusing.
Yeah. Thanks, Rick. So that's the end of the day for Rudd and for Gordon, and there is 1 to go. That means that at 3:30 of 3:34, they'll drop the green on the field. Here's the situation. You'll have Shepherd in front, Jarrett in second, then Schrader, Bodine, Lake Speed. Let's go back to Ricky Craven.
Not how I wanted to be talking to Jeff Gordon, or at least not what I wanted to be talking to him about. But Jeff, tell us what happened there at the end.
Well, we found ourselves in a pretty good position here at the end of Charlotte, like we have in the past. And I knew I was racing Ricky, and my car started coming on, and I was trying to get inside him. I'd go to the outside, he'd run up high and block me. I'd try to go low, he'd run down. So I finally got up underneath him, and I had to kind of work my way up. Plus, I was loose, and I kind of worked my way up in front of him. I guess he didn't like that, so he decided he was going to wreck us both. So he drove right in the back of me all the way down the front straightaway.
You saw the pictures. You make your own decision.
Well, this is what we waited for all day.
Yep. Kenny Wallace just coming back out in front of the field, down to the bottom. Here's the battle up in front. When they come around, 3:31 will be recorded. Down the stripe. At 3:31,
there
Shepherd
goes Dale
being
Jarrett,
challenged.
making a move for the lead.
Dale Jarrett goes up in front. Here comes Schrader gathering it up on the inside. Michael Waltrip fades high and slows, comes back a bit. Seems to be dropping off the pace. In the yellow car. Meanwhile, for the lead,
Earnhardt takes a look 3 wide and makes it. What a move. That thing backed into turn 1. It was so loose down there in that inside like that. But he made it.
You can't ever count him out.
Here he comes. That's how tight they're running. Front 6.
2 laps to go.
Dale Jarrett in the lead. Morgan Shepherd in second. Earnhardt third. Back straight away. Jarrett pulling away. Ooh, in the wall. The Waltrip brothers. Darrell and Michael tear them up. This will be for the finish. Coming down, it will be white and yellow coming to the line. The winner is going to be Jarrett. Second is going to be Shepherd. And coming home third this afternoon is going to be Earnhardt. And we've got another car crashing into the wall.
Bobby Hamilton.
On the finish, Bobby Hamilton has ripped the Kendall Oil number 40 hard into the wall. Still coming to the line is car number, look at this. Michael Waltrip is going to finish this one. And that's the finish of that car.
And his brother come across the start-finish line looking just about the same way, about 50 yards in front of him.
What a day. Brother versus brother. Rudd into it hard at the end with Gordon. Bobby Hamilton crashing big. And this thing's getting worse. He's getting a hot seat out there. I think he'd want to bring that one home.
Yeah, you'd think he'd pull it off and park it. He's getting a fire there now, bud.
Field coming down. Checkers are out. And the winner today is Dale Jarrett under caution. Michael brings it down on the pit road and woes it.
This is a sweet comeback for Dale Jarrett. Last week he had to experience one of the more difficult times for him, not making the race at North Wilkesboro and having to sit home and watch everybody else run. And he comes right back here to Charlotte 1 week later, and here he is in victory lane.
A very happy Ned Jarrett looking on as Dale has accomplished the Mello Yello 500. And Michael Waltrip gave it everything he had and ran the wheels literally off that car this afternoon. Brother Darrell parked there. Well, this one had everything and then a little more just at the finish. Dale Jarrett, the surprise winner. Here's Michael out of the car and okay after getting a very hot ride in those last laps. And the car number 42, Kyle Petty, down with the car number 40 of Bobby Hamilton. Let's take another look at that incident.
This is Darrell and Michael here.
Michael's car got loose on him coming out of turn 2 then.
Darrell was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. He was headed around Michael on the outside.
Yep.
Uncle Mike couldn't do a thing about it. Ooh.
Ooh. He had to get in the inside pretty good, didn't he, Michael?
Yep. Then found something that lifted it up, probably was the rear end braking up on it.
Then another car came in here. I think it was Bobby Hillman that caught a piece of the wall. Trying to avoid those two. There's Darrell. A little cold water on his neck and his head.
Long hot day.
Yep.
And the 28 crew over there to assist him. Larry McReynolds. What a neat guy he is. Here comes Dale Jarrett into victory lane. Very successful day for a fellow that lives in the shadow of this racetrack. Dale Jarrett comes home victorious in the Mello Yello 500. Let's go to the Purelator winner's circle with Randy.
Well, Dale Jarrett trying to get all of his equipment on, drove this one with a fractured left wrist, get his equipment off, that is. Helmet trying to come off. He was wearing the helmet of the Dallas Cowboys today. Pretty successful team in their own right. Dale trying to get his helmet undone. Dale Jarrett, we'll try and get a word with him if we can. He's taking the moment. It's been a long, long time since Dale Jarrett has been to victory lane. His father Ned spotting for him today up on the tower in turn 1. Dale, come on out of that car. Dale Jarrett, winner of the Mello Yello 500. Dale, getting a cold drink of Mello Yello. Congratulations, what a run. I'll tell you, a 2-tire stop puts you out there, and then the caution.
Yeah, I tell you, I really wasn't wanting that caution, I didn't think. I thought I had Morgan there and pulled away from Schrader, but what a call by Jimmy Makar and the crew. And to get it done so quickly, that was the key to the whole thing. You know, get me in front of the guys and I didn't have to pass them. And, you know, this is just a good race team. And it was a lot of fun out there today. The car was good all day long, and this really makes it all worthwhile.
You guys have struggled all season. It's been since the Daytona 500 a couple of years ago, but when you win one, it's a big one.
Yeah, it really is. I tell you, we have a way of having dramatic finishes, kind of, and winning them right at the end. We don't lead much, but we hang around all day, and that's what matters.
Congratulations on a fine run.
Thanks a lot. Say hello to my girls. We'll be home soon and have a little celebration.
Okay, Dick Berggren. Dick Berggren.
Well, I'm down here with Dale Earnhardt, and he is absolutely surrounded by reporters. Dale, tell us about that last pit stop, the decision to go with 4.
Well, you know, starting 38th, anything we could get was going to be good. So that was pretty much my call. They was wanting to stay out, but I knew I was dead in water with the tires I had. So come down and got 4 tires. They weren't aired properly. We had them aired for a long run, and they chattered a bit. I think I could have got by Morgan anyway, but they chattered a bit. I still thought I could got by Morgan. He run me up to the fence, but that's racing. And we lucky we come home 3rd after the hard race we had to start with, spinning around down there in that wreck, and then 400 laps though was leading the race. Things are looking good for us.
Rusty dropped out early. Your views on the rest of the season for the championship?
Well, we just got to do 3 more and do them right. That's what we've been trying to do, is be there a contender to win, and I think we were today, and I think we proved that going up and leading the race from far back as we did, and I'm just looking forward. I hate Rusty had trouble like that. I like to race him even for the points, but hey, we'll take them. That's getting down to the end of the season. We'll take it any way we can get it.
Dale Earnhardt, he sure will take it today.
Dale leads by 321. 321 points, the advantage. It's going to be very difficult for anyone to surmount. Rusty Wallace having a hard day here and having to retire from the event. Let's go to Rick Benjamin.
Well, Ken, we've got a couple of awards to pass out here at the close of our broadcast today. Dale Earnhardt and the Richard Childress team, they pick up our Liquid Wrench Slickest Move of the Race Award. If you were with us early, you saw how Dale got caught up in an early wreck, damaged the nose of the car. His crew worked at it all day. They bring him home 3rd after that 38th starting spot and all but lock up the 1994 Winston Cup title. Our Advanced Auto Parts Pits Done Quickly Award today, Leonard Wood and the Morgan Shepherd crew of car 21. They went with no tires on that last stop. Morgan in contention to win, and the folks at Advance will make a contribution in the name of TBS Sports and the Make-A-Wish Foundation, to the Make-A-Wish Foundation for that victory today on behalf of the Wood Brothers crew. By the way, Rusty Wallace's team has won the season-long competition, and the folks at Make-A-Wish Foundation get an $8,000 check courtesy of the Miller team, the number 2 team. Now, the UAW GM Teamwork of Excellence Award. Can't argue with this one. Jimmy Makar and the Interstate Batteries crew for Dale Jarrett. They had him in position to win. The race came to him. Dale Jarrett goes to victory lane today, and Jimmy Makar gets the UAW GM Teamwork of Excellence Award for he and the crew of that fine automobile. Ken?
Well, let's talk for just a moment about what made the difference in this race, Cale.
Well, the difference was that Bodine had trouble, but it came down to make it a good race, and a 9.8 second pit stop there for Jarrett. It just makes a difference. It just shows you win them and lose them in the pits.
Chuck Bound?
Well, that's true, you know, but one battery-sponsored car dominated and faltered, and the other battery-sponsored cars in victory lane. So you just never know till it's over. That race was anybody's there with, 5 or 6 of them in the hunt. But that last caution flag there didn't leave too much racing at the end, but a couple of pretty exciting laps.
It's been such a roller coaster for the Jarretts. The good news that started the month was that son Jason, that's Dale Jarrett's son, won his first limited sportsman feature over at the Hickory Speedway. You remember Hickory, Dale.
Sure.
We look at the points here. We told you there's a 321 difference. And became Rookie of the Year at the Hickory Speedway. Then they had that awful race where they didn't qualify. Now they come back and win here today for Joe Gibbs. That was some exhibition that those top 4 put on. Jarrett, Shepard, Earnhardt, Schrader to the finish. Lake Speed with that great run to 5th place. So 3 races left to go. It's off to Rockingham October 23rd, then Phoenix, and November 13th in Atlanta to finish the 1994 Winston Cup season. Our thanks to Chuck Bound and Cale Yarborough topside with us today, to Randy Pemberton and Dick Bergman along pit road, to Rick Craven over in the garage area, and at the STP Pit Center, Rick Benjamin was there. The story today, this wild, sensational finish, and the 3rd Winston Cup win in his career for Dale Jarrett. Got a great shopping show coming up from TBS next, so stay with us. Ken Squire, good afternoon.